Alrighty. Welcome on in, guys, to the 6 out of 10 podcast. My name is Tiny Pixels, but you guys are perfectly welcome to call me Pip. Welcome to you guys watching us live on Twitch, but also to you guys listening on the iTunes and the YouTubes and the SoundClouds and the everywhere else that you guys partake in your memes. I am joined, as always, and I'm told off every week for saying this, but I am joined, as always, by the rather lovely Squirrel Mother. Sam, how you doing, Sweet Pea?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I don't tell you off for it. It's more that I just point out its glaring inaccuracy. It's like it's just two separate things, you know?
I got you. All right. Well, I mean, all right. I'm joined by the ever Squirrel Mother.
The ever-present sometimes.
There you go. That one's better. And of course, we have our guest for this week. And this week, we've got somebody a little bit special, I feel. Crumps, how you doing today, darling?
Special apparently? No, barely awake and somehow functioning, though I'm really not sure how that's all coming together and into focus at this point. So we'll see in about another 20 minutes when I actually come out of this, like, waking up haze.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine, I'm sure.
You're either gonna get there or you're gonna be face down on your desk. It's gonna be exciting to find out which happens.
Give it about another 25 minutes, and if I just fall out of screen, we all know where we're going.
Yeah, chat.
If
you
you
want to
start
start
tilting,
taking bets on how long it takes. That's going to be great before we bore him to sleep. I feel no. To be fair, I'm packing a Lucozade as bigger than my head today to get me through.
This stream, preferably sponsored by Relentless. If possible, please send me some.
If only. If only.
Melatonin. Yeah, totally.
Dude, melatonin saves my life endlessly. Like, absolutely endlessly.
We're just doing let's
Bring
product
onto the camera day.
and get on with fucking show and tell. Is that primary school or something?
God's alive. All right. So we ought to start the same way that we always do, and that's by introducing our guests. So, Crumps, please, pretty please, tell us a little bit about you and what you do and where people can find you and that kind of deal.
Fair enough, I can do that. Let's see, my name's Crumps, obviously. I've been broadcasting here on Twitch for, somewhere between 6 and 7 years now, believe it or not. And yeah, you can find me, like I just said, here on Twitch usually. I do upload stuff to YouTube, but infrequently. I ramble like crazy on Twitter at the same name at Crumps too. But yeah, basically I do everything from playing sports games to Final Fantasy month is probably what a lot of people know me for. Going through that entire series way too quickly unless my Comcast decides to have a problem with it the last 2 months. But yeah, other than that, basically I just hang around, play video games. People know me as the cat guy here on Twitch because I have 2 now. And yeah, it's I'm also the guy that dyes his hair and then forgets to cut it for 8 months. So I'm that lazy, dude. Other than that, there's nothing special.
I was gonna say, don't talk to me about lazy. I don't know if you've noticed my roots coming through, but this is me being like, yeah, it's blue now. That'll do.
Yeah, this used to be purple. Ooh. So yeah, enough said.
Yeah. All right. I got you. Okay, so, apologies for no cast last week. A lot of us got not only Comcasted, but poxed as well, and I think we're just about pulling it together.
You got post-charitied.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
did.
happened to you. You were flipping around a poll for Quest for the Cause, which is still on at the moment, actually.
Yes.
So finishing today, tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you needed the rest from that, and so did I. Actually, I was knackered after that shift. So it's all good. We're back this week. That's the important part, right?
All right, for sure. And we've got a fair bit to catch up on this week because I feel like a lot has happened, and yet nothing has happened. All in the same. It's been
very mercifully. Not that much happened this week,
but enough happened last week that we can kind of. And we are going to mix it up. We are going to mix it up with a couple of little bits that have happened this week. Some stuff that I'm excited for. Some stuff that you're excited for. Crumps, I don't know if you're ever excited about things. Are you excited about things ever?
Moments, but I hide it. I'm reserved as far as anyone that knows me knows full well that I go a little bit above and beyond on the excitement level from time to time.
Perfect. So, should we get into it?
Absolutely.
Oh, if we must. I mean, we're here already. We may as well.
Right. So,
starting us off.
Oh god,
And
with
I
something
really-
that requires far too much energy already, I feel.
Yeah. I want to be able to do a Morgana impression. I mean, can I just tell everyone to go to bed repeatedly?
Who are you texting? Go to bed. Who are you texting at this time? You can't really do things now. Oh,
So they announced, I didn't get this from last week, some new dancing all night, dancing star night, do the dance and break a move. Also have a Persona games, and I don't understand them. I love Persona 5 a lot. It's fantastic. It's like one of the best RPGs that's come out in a very, very, very long time. I don't understand why we need to see like Ryuji dad dancing. Like I don't. Do you have any experience of this, so you can like enlighten me as to what the cock these are? Like, please help.
Who, me?
Well, you seem to have like a vague knowledge about them. I have less than a vague knowledge about them.
I know that Persona 4 got one, and it like people got little badges at PAX events with little teddy on them and all this sort of thing.
Right.
No, I don't understand these at all. So for me, Persona is an RPG series about dealing with a lot of real world grit, and broaching a lot of difficult to discuss issues, and doing so in a interesting way. But generally, they tend to do a good job of it. Generally, they do a good job of it. I adore Persona 3. I adore Persona 4 to the ends of the earth and back. And Persona 5 is good too. I'm gonna say them in that way so that everybody's like, yes, Pip thinks they're all good. That's fine. So I kind of, it's very strange to me that this is a thing. But I'm also kind of behind this a little bit. The characters are so colourful and the settings are so colourful that I'm okay with this.
I get that they're fun, and I get that they're adding to the universe, which is great because anything that adds to it is really cool. But I also can hear the sound of unzipping and urination over the games whenever I see the trailer. I don't get it. What does this add? How does this help? I don't.
The only one bright side that I can see to what this actually adds and what this does bring to the table. Did you notice that they're also bringing this out for Vita? So the system is not dead.
That's the release for the Vita this year. Good.
Yeah, the one.
Whoa! I'm sure I bought Vita games this year already. I'm sure I did. I must have bought Vita games this year already. I love my Vita.
Yeah, you get some PS Plus games on there occasionally, which is sweet of them.
I don't know. I like playing Octodad on my Vita, but I feel like maybe I bought that last year.
How many years ago?
I know. I'm trying to think. I have Galgun on the... I shouldn't say that out loud. But no, I feel like this is a better addition than, say, like a tower defense mobile game would be.
Oh god, yes, agreed, absolutely.
I hate to bring this thing back up. I hate to bring this thing back up, right? I really do. But it is better than a racing game add-on or a tower defense add-on, or a companion app that doesn't really do a hell of a lot. Like
that fucking Assassin's Creed boat fucking game. I swear that came out on mobiles and like on the Vita or something like that. You know, was it Black Flag, where you could just get your boats out and go and attack places or whatever on your Vita. Like, fuck off, like that.
For real though, I know that the Persona 4 one was super well received. I've never played it because I kind of I play Just Dance, and that's enough dancing for any human being ever. I don't need any more dancing than that ever. So like I've never given these a go, but I know from the people that have them, they were super well received, and it's so nice to see them picking up Persona 3 as well in this. That's really nice, because Persona 3 is super beloved, because Persona 3 is dark as all hell.
I didn't play for it.
Oh, 3's horrendous. they summon the monsters by shooting themselves in the head and in the mouth and things like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen bits.
Yeah,
and things,
it's great.
I mean, to be fair, in 5 you do have to rip your fucking face off, which is reasonably savage.
But that's oh, what's the series of game called? That's Shin Megami kind of influence, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, I mean, yeah, shooting yourself in the head's pretty dark.
Right. No. I'm just saying, like it's Persona 3 is like grim. Persona 3 is grim. So it's kind of nice to see the characters come back and have maybe a little bit of relief. I can see it working in that kind of respect. I don't know, I think it's just cool that they're doing something that isn't totally awful with the characters.
And to be fair, again, I don't know about 3, but the music in 5 are fucking jams.
The music in 3 is good. Yeah. The music in 3 is good.
The music of the whole series is pretty spot on from everything I've seen. And, random audio engineer interjection there. But honestly, the music in that series is the one thing that I do know of it very well. Mm-hmm. And it's good. Yeah. It is really well done.
Well, every time I go to visit Sam, we have the Persona 5 soundtrack on when we're getting up in the morning. And we're like, let's go. It's good. Yep. Like it's
well, I literally woke you up one day with the wake up get up song.
Yeah, and it worked because I'm like, I know this. Oh. So yeah, I can see this being a success for sure. It's super nice that they've picked up to do Persona 3 with it as well. Persona 5 is super colorful and like the entire world is super immersive. Yeah, it's really stylish. They're all really stylish games, but Persona 5 especially is super stylish. Those menus, man. So this, right? So this fits
just pushing triangle and having things swoop across and look fantastic.
Yes, exiting the menus by running and then running into the spot where you were and carrying on. Like really clever design choices, and that suits this kind of game. I think those kind of design choices definitely suit this kind of thing. So whereas, like, I think it's not going to be a lot of people's cup of tea who play Shin Megami games and Persona and stuff like that. I don't know, I kind of, I'm kind of into this. I might think about picking this up. For sure.
I mean, I could see me jamming out to some of those tracks, but I don't think I'd necessarily want to do it choreographed.
I don't know.
Kind of in the shower, like that's the limit of how far I'm willing to like twerk to the music.
I mean, the question really is: are we talking like? Do you think this is going to be? Because I've never seen the one on for Persona 4. Is it going to be like on the same level as like a can't think of her name now, the Vocaloid?
Hatsune Miku?
Yeah. Is it going to be like, if you turn that up to expert level and you just see like, here's a 10,000 button press, like chain of events coming up at you, buddy? Or is it just going to be like, all right, I'm, like on the 1, on the 2, on the 3, triangle. That lies my question.
I'm going to be honest, from what I understand from the Persona 4 one, it's going to sit somewhere in the middle, but towards Miku levels.
Okay.
But I hope it does get super complex and they make a good kind of, actual dancing game out of it.
I would too. I don't want it to be just generic and, like the rest of the series, like you were just pointing out, feels very stylized and very, it stands off on its own, on its own plateau, if you will. And if they were to make it kind of, like, okay, here's this, like remedial, Simon Says, repeat just the button presses type of thing. I don't think that would work so well. If it was actually challenging and making me like, oh, what do I do? Oh, geez, I just screwed up. Now we're cooking. Now I've got something that I might actually play.
Right. Yeah, I would hope so. Because considering how the RPGs go on and the fact that the mechanics are so kind of intertwined with the aesthetic and the theme and everything, they have a really good understanding of how to construct games that mean something. And I would imagine that they can carry that across 2 different genres. I definitely hope so.
Time shall tell, I guess. But at the same time, I don't know. I think these are just supposed to be fun. I think they're just supposed to be fun, dumb, and that's all they're meant to be.
Being bad at video games is fun, Sam. Are you kidding?
Again, I'm living proof. Trust me. It's
I was going to say, you guys are the experts, not me.
Oh, he's the MLG one here, folks. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
So anyway, moving on to other things that are definitely the best. No Man's Sky got a very big update, and I've upset Pip, and I'm gonna highlight why I upset Pip. So I put this topic into our little document as
it's all right. I'm gonna
hello games. That's the big one.
No,
because I just knew it would just irk Pip to no end. So
stop it! Stop using that stupid tone of voice. Ooh, like no, stop it.
So, Hello Games has dropped a new free patch, or so I think they're titling it a free expansion, actually.
Yep.
Which adds 30 hours of story in, because there wasn't any. Adds in multiplayer in the form of your friends can appear as an orb that floats around, and you can VoIP if you happen to be standing near your friend orb. And there's there's some like terraforming stuff and bits and pieces that they've just kind of thrown in. Is this enough to save or even bring the game to the point where it should have been all along? Because I don't think it is. Like, it's too. I just think it's past the point of no return, really. They should probably give up and run away gleefully with their bags of money. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll jump in first on this one just to say, like, I was so interested in this when it first got announced. I think we all were. I mean, maybe not every one of us, let's be real, but I was definitely hitting the hype bandwagon when it got announced, and I heard, exploration, find your friends and all these space battles, and like, holy crap, it's Star Wars. Like, yes, I want this. And I looked at it at first and thought, there's no way this gets produced the way that they're claiming it does. Like, this just seems way too grandiose for this small of a company. And I kind of pushed back and thought, no, we'll wait. And I'm really glad I did, because with this patch now, which is a little over a year after it came out, am I right on that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's been about a year, if not, it's close enough. But yeah, a year later, that now it's kind of sort of the game that they originally said. It's still missing huge chunks of what I mentioned, but it, look, there's a two-sided, double-edged sword to this one. It's really good that a year into it, they are still updating this game, especially given everything that has happened to this point. You've got to give a ton of credit to Hello Games for having the cojones to still do something with this, because most people probably tuck tail run like Squall just said, and take their money and run and be happy with it. And here we are over a year later, we're still getting gigantic updates to this game, so props to them. Problem with it is we're a year later and we're still getting updates to the game that make it what they promised originally, and that's where the whole disconnect is coming in. And I mean, yeah, we've heard this a million times, we all know that, but for me especially, like I said, it's a weird double-edged sword. It's almost to the point where I would consider it what I originally thought it was going to be, and I'm now excited for it, but I just can't be, because it's No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got that stigma to it at this point, and I don't think it can shake it. I don't think it ever will.
Yeah, I would be worried along the same lines that, unfortunately, I was one of the people who didn't hold off, because I'm terrible at, I see something and I want it, and I have to have it, and I will scrape the money from somewhere because I want it, and I have to, and it's dreadful. It's actually dreadful that I am, but I bought a copy for me, and I got a friend playing alongside me, and knowing how much I paid for it and how much content I got out of it, I wasn't best pleased. And that's a super difficult feeling to shake. It is so difficult to buy a finished game. Because don't forget, this didn't ship as an alpha, it didn't ship as a beta build, it didn't ship as early access. It shipped as a finished game. And what I wanted, and I know what a lot of people wanted, was an experience where I could log in and I could be like, guys, where are you at? Oh shit, let me see if I can make it across to you guys, and we'll do a thing. And it's exactly the same reason why I'm excited about things like Ray's new game. What's that going to be called? Sea of Thieves. Because I can party up with my friends, and I can be like, hey, let's get on a boat and go and do the stuff. buying the game and not getting that is a massive blow to my confidence in that studio. What I will say is that putting out these updates over and over and over and building these things, again, they've put now that you can draw land penises in the sky, and there's, you know, kind of similar to you can in Astroneer, right? Ooh, little hiccup.
That was a little mad, but okay.
It's what we all did in Astroneer. We built a tower as tall as we could, and then we ran out of things to do. Like it's no penis sky. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. It's one of those things where I think this is all too little, too late, but it instills some confidence that the next title they go on to make, if they do indeed go on to make something else, they've learned lessons and we've learned lessons, and maybe we can get a more positive experience out of the next title.
Possible. I don't see him going on to make another. I reckon they're probably going to break apart and they're going to just go into like Sean Murray's probably going to end up working for like EA or Ubisoft as a
But then
brand.
you remember that name. And the second you've seen it, right? You've seen it. People, we talk about games all the time, and you say, "Oh, who's behind this game?" Oh, the guy who did X game. Hey, the guy who made Worms originally is. Look at every time we see an Oddworld game, and you look for that one name, and you know then that is a good Oddworld game. Like,
yeah,
these names follow around and they carry weight to them now, especially considering we're so social media heavy now. We are learning who these people are and what kind of background they have. And I think it's going to be super interesting if they do split up. Lionhead, perfect example. Because we looked at Goddess and we all went because we knew half the stuff he was saying was never going to happen.
No.
Like,
then you can dampen it, though. That's the thing. I could see it being dampened. So, like, let's say Sean Murray goes to Ubisoft, becomes a project lead over there or whatever it is that he does. You've got the dampening of going, oh, but Ubisoft have made Assassin's Creed, which is one of my favourite game series of all time. And they made The Division, which I've spent so many hours in. And it whilst it doesn't take away the fact that it's Sean Murray, you know, evil Satan's arsehole of the universe because he was in Hello Games when No Man's Sky came out and oh my god, the sacrifice babies in the street and stuff like that. It softens it a bit because people go, oh, but I really enjoy Ubisoft's one game with the towers, and you know, like that's kind of building a bit of the trust back up. And oh well, you know, eventually No Man's Sky got all right, and you kind of start to justify what he might be able to do with that IP and whatever else.
Right.
So, like, that move I could see, them going on to make a second game after this, I can't. I don't think, because they're not going to get this game to a point where it should have been. You know, even some of the stuff that they were offering.
No, it's not.
Is it?
I don't think it was ever. No.
Possible? Like, it struck me that I watched Man vs. Game try to get to the center of the universe. There you go.
I know where this is going.
You laugh because I'm pretty sure everybody's witnessed that moment where he just breaks because there's fucking nothing there, right? Or that moment where I forget who it was. It might have been Tag. They launch into space for the very first time, and you see all the stars go past them, and then the game crashes.
Yep.
I don't
might have been
know.
more.
I don't know if. In fact, you know what? No, I'm going to stake on it that I'm pretty sure the game that they originally sold us at that E3 where we looked at it and went, wow. Oh, and we all became like 11-year-olds again. We all looked up with with these big eyes full of wonder, like this is incredible and this is going to be the best experience. I don't think that is ever going to be possible with the console generation and the technology that we have right now.
Nah, probably not. And
especially not for the way that they've, you know.
The part that makes it for me, the one that I always fondly remember, is I saw a video at one point, which was like them going through a planet with like these majestic randomly generated creatures wandering the plains looking like a brachiosaur, and there's a T-Rex in the distance wandering about, and this beautiful sheep and whatever else, and it just kind of transitions to like
Is that over
something
the
that's
Jurassic Park harmonica? Oh my god, that video kills me every time.
It's just got like legs coming out of his back for no apparent reason. It just gets me every time, because that's the truth.
I need to find that video and link it in chat right now.
You don't
because
randomly
holy
generate
shit.
a T-Rex. It just doesn't happen.
Sorry, that video, every time I see it, it just breaks me. I can't,
Like-
because it's the perfect summation of that contrast between us looking up at E3 and going, that's it. That's what we've all been waiting for this time. This is going to be it, and we're all going to do stuff, and it's going to be wonderful. And then us launching the game for the first time, and we hit a planet, and some little duda with giant legs at the front and teeny legs at the back skitters along the floor.
One of the first
Sort
things
of
that I
goes,
encountered. One of the first things I encountered was a blob with a singular leg for a face, just bouncing around the shop. You are the most pointless creature on the face of the earth.
Okay, I apologize for the random sound. I had to check that was the correct video, but there you guys go. If you guys need a laugh, if you guys need a laugh today, there is your melodica video for the day. That is No Man's Sky. 11-year-old me watches E3 versus 2017 me is like, I fucking hate video games. Like it's
I mean, looking back to
actually
what's in the new update, though, right?
Right.
So you've almost like it's like you're one big expansion away from getting the group up with your friends stuff. I feel. So they've added in, like, you remember those big fucking monolith dudes that are just around, like the really, really huge monoliths, the big black pillar things. Those are now portals, and in a very sort of Stargate fashion, if you put in the certain glyphs, it will transport you to another planet that those glyphs correspond to. So your friend can say, "I'll put in Swirly, Swirl, Bug, Ankh, Lightbulb, Arsehole, Jamaica," and then that will take you to their planet because that corresponds with the glyphs on their portal. Yeah. So you can, there's the ability to group up, but at the moment you're just a floaty orb dude.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the beta of Elder Scrolls Online, where you couldn't actually see your group mates, basically, but they're there in spirit, if nothing else.
I remember queuing to put out fires in the beta.
Oh, God.
Remember that? Oh, no.
Don't remind me of those nightmare situations. I never want to remember that ever again.
It was the most British thing ever, where you could only put out a fire, like, one at a time. So people would form orderly queues into the chaos. Go and get their bucket of water and join the queue. Move up.
Most British thing you've ever
Turn
seen.
the water out. Complete the quest. Hobble back again.
See, she's right, though, because we couldn't do that here. We lack that organizational skill in every facet. Trust me, there's no way we could do that.
Like, I went to one server and it was chaos, and I'm like, no, I'm leaving this server for another one where there are queues by. But yeah. Back
But
to...
yeah, you're in the right direction.
Yeah. Honestly, I think while this is too little too late, I think it's taught us a lot of lessons as gamers. And as somebody who used to have to sell pre-orders for my job, I'm super glad that we're starting to learn that maybe that's not the greatest plan in the universe, unless it's something super niche, that unless you pre-order it, you ain't gonna get a copy of it. Like the Nintendo consoles. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that we're starting to get these red flags to move away from that kind of culture. Because it's super dangerous. I paid so much money for a game that I spent 2 days trying to love. I tried so hard to love No Man's Sky, and I just couldn't.
Even like the basics, like the farming for materials and stuff, is more tedious than it is in other games, I feel.
The fact that but she just kept on and on and on when there was no need for her to keep on and on. I'm like, yeah, no, I know I've lost 20% of my oxygen. Piss off, love. There's a giant part of my UI that says it.
You have legs. Like, thanks. Okay, good.
Exhale. Oh man.
Like,
remember to blink to moisten your eyeballs. Like, leave me alone.
Like, I just, I'm hoping, as I say, that as we move forward, we can use this as a, not only as a teaching experience for game studios, for developers, for PR agents, for E3 as a whole, and that whole kind of hype train culture, but us. Like, I really hope that we can start to really be critical about what we're looking at as gamers. We need to understand the limitations of the technology that we have. We need to understand sort of where these games are coming from. We need to be critical of, is this actually going to happen in the fashion that they're showing it to us?
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, whenever I watch a trailer for a game, me being like the absolute pessimist dickhead that I am, I take my hype after watching that trailer and immediately divide it by at least 2.
And cries like an anime fan on prom night.
Oh!
Yeah. Not there. Not there.
But you know what I mean? Like, I immediately sort of go, yeah, but it's not though, is it? Like, it's not going to be this good, really, if we're being honest. Like, I bet if if you're playing it on anything other than very high graphics, then that thing's going to look terrible, and you just kind of just sit there and pick it apart and try and think how bad this could go.
Even the hardest lesson for me has been, can you imagine the narrative that they could put into this? And the hardest lesson for me has been dialing that back to, can you imagine what narrative they're going to put into this? And
can you imagine if there was
hard.
Can you imagine if there was any kind of narrative?
Right? Can you imagine if there was any kind of story here? Like, that's been one of the, like, hardest things for me. Because, I mean, I'm used to, Steven in chat just mentioned Colonial Marines. I'm used to looking at super pretty things and going, yeah, but my potato won't make it look that good. My potato's going to run that at like 3 frames per second, I imagine. Like, I'm used to doing that. But the whole, like, this whole thing of, this could have a really great, engaging story, and then it does a Final Fantasy 15.
My heart.
You asked for it, Swirl. You got it. You didn't even know.
Like,
ongoing joke. I'm playing 15 right now, and we were looking for ways to rip on it, and thank you, Pip.
You're welcome! But yeah, I'm kind of hoping, yeah, back to the point, I'm kind of hoping that this is going to teach us, like, a really serious lesson. And I hope that the state of the hype culture improves from here on in, because this isn't going anywhere. And I feel super bad for them, and also I don't feel super bad for them because this has happened.
Did you not see the trailers at E3 this year just gone? Like, we've learned nothing.
The biggest one for you right now, the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. How many people are come into my channel sometime and watch the chat, and people just like, boy, I really hope they don't add stealth sections in. Like, what? Hold on, no, like, why? No, they're just remaking it in different, like, it's just, everything is so off the wall as far as this stuff goes. We expect so much more than is ever going to happen in any game. And we just have, like, these unrealistic, expectations at this point that I don't think any game creator can ever possibly meet. And we always wind up kind of sort of hyping ourselves up too far, it seems. So I'm with you on that. Like, we really need to be able to look and go, all right, that sounds really cool, but how about we wait and see if it's that, and then I'll buy into it afterwards, instead of going, oh, hey, that thing looks like it could be really shiny. Here's my money now. I got over that in the 90s, honestly. Thank God. But, like, I don't pre-order, and I don't plan to ever do it again. So,
right.
It's very rare that I'll pre-order. Like, I'll pre-order ones that are just so ironclad that even if it's as shit as it possibly can be, it will still be pretty good. Right. I'll pre-order, but it's such a rarity that something comes along with that much certainty that I in the past, like, 5 years, I've probably pre-ordered 5 things, if that. Like, it's very, very rare.
Yeah. Again,
Right.
like, yeah, if it's something niche that your local game is only going to get 5 copies of it, when they say you have to pre-order that to get one, they mean you have to pre-order that to get one.
Right.
If you're pre-ordering COD, you're wrong.
No, but you'll get a special skin
Oh, yay!
and dog
I get a
tags.
special gun if you order it from Amazon, though. Day 1 delivery, guys. Come on. I mean, like, for real. Sorry, we had to throw that in.
A different gun if you order it from GameStop, and yet a third different gun if you order it from Best Buy. Like,
so buy all 3 of them today, kids. Yeah, that's the stuff I can't stand. Like, okay, Tiger Woods Golf was the one that really turned me off from this back in the mid 2000s. They would do this constantly with golf courses. So if you pre-ordered it from GameStop, you would get like TPC at Sawgrass, and it was the only way to get it. And then if you pre-ordered from Amazon or whatever, you would get, Medina. I'm coming up with weird names here, but like, you'd get these special courses at each individual spot. And that was the only place you could get them. You could never buy them online. So you could only ever compete against people online that bought them pre-ordered from the same place they did. And it's like, wow, let's just segregate our community even more than it possibly could be. Like, what are you thinking? And that's where I knew it was going to go bad.
Yep.
And here we are.
Yep.
that's insane. That's even worse than COD. I wasn't aware that there was a new rung further down the ladder, but apparently Tiger Woods has stumbled onto it.
Oh, it was EA. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Electronic Arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking of guns.
Yes. Speaking of guns, indeed. We're talking about Overwatch again, because when don't we talk about Overwatch?
Yay!
So there's two entire different things to talk about around Overwatch this time, which is
one of them Lucio Ball?
one of them is Lucio Ball / new shiny skins that aren't Olympics anymore. It's warm weather, it's
just
summer.
bikinis and blonde McCree. And I will take both of those. Many thanks. Yes.
Oh, actually, funny enough, I got like the free box that for they just kind of throw one at you when they start the Summer Games campaign.
Wife in it?
I just got a legendary. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was a Tracer one. It was just like from the one free box they gave me. I was like, okay, I'm going to close Overwatch again for another few months until I get another free box. Because I just gather things in case I will eventually play it again. You never know, it might happen. So you got that. That's pretty cool. I like that they've got Lucio Ball in it because I think Overwatch needs something like that, because having the Blight as a constant thing, not just an event thing, because the normal composition of the game can get really frustrating if you get shitty teammates. And in order to kind of like retain your entertainment or whatever, or like your attention into the game, you need to be able to sort of split off and do something else and play around with something else. And by keeping you in the game, that would kind of make sense. But then they've also added in a deathmatch mode as well to do that as that thing, sort of blow off some steam without having to rely on shitty teammates. Which is pretty neat.
Sorry, I'm just endlessly watching the cats running around in the background. It's wonderful. This is the best. Can we have you on every week? This is the best.
As long as they do this.
I was going to say, my cats have abandoned me today because I smell like first aid. So it's super nice to see other people's cats instead. But no, I really think that Overwatch is doing a great job of... We don't stick to one format. If you play, you can play this format, or you can play that format. And it does the Splatoon thing of, haven't played in a while? Hey, we've brought this stuff out, and you can go and compete with it, and that's kind of neat. And while I don't agree with tying skins to certain events and then not being able to buy them for the rest of the year, and blah, 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 and boycott loot boxes and all that kind of... I don't agree with any of that. But I think what they're doing with the modes is really clever. Deathmatch doesn't appeal to me because I have potato aim. And dying endlessly is not fun. Lucio Ball is fun. The arcade modes are fun. Some of the 1v1s that I do, if I pick up a hero that I'm good at, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I can get behind that. The brawls are a super good idea because they push me outside of my comfort zone, but I'm still comfortable enough that I want to keep playing. What they're doing with these events and with the different modes that they're bringing out is really clever, and it's the reason why League always does well when they put Earth on, and they put Doom bots and things like that on. It's a really smart move, and I really like it, and I hope that we continue to see these, and I hope that Blizzard continues to push the format that they have now, but in a couple of different directions. Like, we're always going to get a NAF one every now and then. I joke about how much I love Lucio Ball. Lucio Ball is a bit NAF?
It's not Rocket League, is it?
It's not, it's not Rocket League.
But it's kind of in that area, but just not quite as well tuned. Like, which is fair enough because it's just a side game, but like, it just feels like a clunkier Rocket League with legs. Like, that's just.
But it's something that's a little bit different, and it wakes you up after doing endless rounds of King's Road where you get stuck in that corner because there's one of those dickheads on top of the weird like cube at the last corner. Like, after going through that time after time, you know, like, it's nice to have something that's a bit different, and to stop you from switching games, that you can play something different in that same game. Super clever. Good job, Blizzard. They're doing a good job with Overwatch, I feel. And Doomfist is kind of neat. I won't lie. Doomfist is kind of neat.
The problem with any new released individual characters that come out in a game, though, is everyone just piles on it.
And then complains that they're OP when they're not quick enough to lock them in.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, balance is always going to be an issue. With multiplayer games, it's always going to be an issue, but I think Blizzard have done better with the balance in Overwatch than they do ever with their stupid card game. Like, they're doing a much better job with that one.
Nothing wrong with the balance in a stupid card game, assuming your bank account's big enough. Nothing wrong with it.
No, even if your bank account's big enough, the way that they address balance is, hey, Priest haven't had any new cards recently that were any good. This expansion, Priest's gonna be really good. Oh hey! Nobody's playing Mage anymore because Mage sucks. Cool, let's give Mage a load of new cards and get her rolling again. That's not balance, friendos.
I hate to tell you, but that's exactly how they balanced World of Warcraft from like beta, as well as basically said, oh hey, everybody's pissed off about mages. Let's give them no casting time. Like, what?
Oh, God,
yeah, enjoy.
I had no idea. That's grim. That's not balanced. That's disgusting.
They didn't really understand how to do it very well. Not that any MMO I played ever did, but yeah, Warcraft was kind of the one that stood out in my mind as like, well, that seems like an extreme kind of, you know, like give fan of blades to rogues. What rogue is stealthing around going, I have 37 blades in my hand, whee, and just whipping them around? Like, you know, like nobody.
This isn't Diablo, are you kidding?
I mean, you'd think that those blades might at least clink a little as a rogue, like just a tad.
Yeah. But no, like, I'm going to go stealth around, carry around 37 little blades and just, you know, like I said, just randomly whip them into every single direction. Like, no, that's not... Oh, and by the way, I can also put on Blade Fury, which multiplies that by 4. So, you know, again, this is not what rogues do. They just like, oh, nobody likes rogues and they're doing low DPS. Here, give them this.
Just,
what?
Don't mind me.
Top of
Warlock. One big bag of blades.
Exactly. Oh, guys, hold on, man. I'll catch up in a minute.
Is that Santa Rogue you have going on there? Santa Rogue giving knives to all the nasty boys and girls. Like, what is this?
He's actually just throwing the elves. The elves are holding onto the knives and this weird, like, you know, like forward. Just whipping elves at enemies. Like, we got this, guys. Come on.
Yeah. No.
Adrenaline rush now.
I was super worried about Overwatch getting new characters going forward because, yeah, Hearthstone is the one that I'm familiar with. Hearthstone balance has never, ever been. It's like a tale of, like, yeah, no.
Tale of two shitties, were you going to say?
I was going to say a Taylor Swift song, but we'll go with that as well. No, genuinely, their idea of balance is, hey, nobody likes this, let's make it crazy. Okay, nobody likes this anymore. Okay, then it's their time to shine. So I was kind of worried that they were going to go along the same route with Overwatch. But to me, as a casual player, and you have to remember I am a casual player, I have potato aim and I get super angry about everything ever.
Full disclaimer.
The balance doesn't feel that bad. I never feel like, oh hey, there's one of X characters on the other team, we're going to lose. It always feels like we have a fighting chance. Unless my teammates also have potato aim, in which case, like, we just stand there and dance all day.
At which point they go, right, we're doing attack, time to pull out Widow. And it's a shame that we can't all go Widowmaker, because that's clearly the way we need to go for attack.
Oh, every team needs a Widowmaker and a Hanzo, don't be silly.
At all times. Yes.
All times. 2 snipers, no matter which map, no matter which side, 2 snipers, always.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, I'm really pleased with the way they're going. I don't like the loot box system in that some of the skins you can't buy all year round. I don't like the fact that some of the skins you can't buy for the in-game credit. That's fucking dumb. Stop doing that. That's bad. That's not how earning in-game rewards should be. That's naughty bad. Even if you want to keep them exclusive for a little while, that sucks. But then if you release them out to being bought with in-game credit, that's not so bad. I mean, you know, League of Legends does that from what I remember. I haven't bought anything in League of Legends for a long freaking time, but, like, from what I understand, like, that's the way it still works, is that they keep it exclusive to real money for a little while, and then they go, hey, now that it's been out a little while and the people who've bought it and wanted to jump on it immediately have done so, if you guys want to buy it with your in-game credit, now you can. And that's a really neat way of doing it. But don't lock things behind just money or just a particular time, like, per year. That's dumb. Don't do that. I want to be Halloween all year round. Don't stop me, ever.
I'm waiting for someone else to do the math, though, because, like, last Summer Games time, they did the math, and it was like, if you spent every minute of every waking hour of the entirety of that event, you would barely have enough time to get all the legendary skins if the odds were in your favour. And I wonder if that's the same sort of vibe again this time around. I would imagine it probably will be. It's presumably going to be the same amount of skins, same rough amount of time. Drop rates aren't going to change from what they were before. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if they've kind of retained that, because that's
a bit annoying.
It's acceptable, barely, you know, like it's, yes, you could feasibly do it if you're playing for like 10 hours a day every day of the event. But I don't know.
Why limit it to just those, you know, quote unquote, like pros, if you will? Because let's be honest, if you're spending 8 to 10 hours a day on the same game every day just to try and get skins and stuff, you probably don't have a job or much of a real life outside of it. I can attest, because I got the insane title in Warcraft, so believe me, I'm speaking from experience on that one. I'm not ripping on other people, I'm ripping on myself.
Is that one framed on the wall, or is that just...
Yeah, it should be. If I could ever get back into my Warcraft account, I would at least take a picture of it. Like,
I was going to say, I will cross-stitch that for you, and you can have it on your wall. Done. Sorted.
I'm good. That's fine.
Done.
Oh, God's alive. Right.
But onto another platform entirely. So away from the Blizzard Battle.net app type thing, whatever the fuck they've decided to call it now, because I completely forget every single time, to Steam. Steam are doing well still, and like better than I kind of expected them to be doing. So over the past year, Steam have gained 1.5 million new users per month.
I have a question. About this. Does this include the new accounts that people use to message me naughty things?
Most likely, yes.
They haven't put, like, on their pie chart, they haven't put a sliver for users specifically making accounts to message naughty things to Pixels. So, like, I'm not convinced on that score. I would imagine they're probably included, but I don't know. I think that's interesting. But also, that's not 1.5 million accounts. That's 1.5 million spending accounts, first-time purchasers, people actually putting money onto that platform. So that's interesting. Like that they're actually, it's not just empty accounts that aren't going to be doing anything. I'm surprised that they're still adding that many. Like it feels like we're in the point in time where it's so kind of a given that you would have a Steam account now, that there aren't that many more people to add almost. I don't know, especially with like the family sharing and stuff like that as well. I don't know, like
that might actually have a little something to do with it as well, just for the fact that people get, games shared with them and then go, all right, well, he plays too much and I can't really play it at the same time, so maybe I should just get it for myself. That might have a little bit of something to do with it, but we're talking still, 18 million new people a year is what, because it's 1.5. Yeah, if I math that right, 18 million. And like you said, that's a lot of people. So
yeah, it's mental.
It can't just be consoles pissing people off, can it?
Well,
I mean,
the other thing to bear in mind is for a lot of PC games now, when you go and buy a PC game, lots of special editions and things, they come with an empty box with a game code sticker on the inside, and you have to have Steam to be able to have Steam to activate that key. So
you basically have to fucking download it as well, which is infuriating.
There are no discs or anything in a lot of PC games that we used to sell. The odd ones out there were things like the train simulators and the bus simulators and the ferry everybody to work on your forklift simulators, like all those sorts of dealios.
God, they're bad.
Yeah, but for the majority of games, and we had people bring empty cases back, plug them on the desk and go, what the shit is this? And you would have to explain to them, you've got to go to Steam Powered, and you've got to go and get a Steam account, and then you'll have to download the game. It's not on the disc. There is no disc. And the amount of temps that would come into work at Game at Christmas and be massively flapping because they couldn't find the disc for X game, and I'm like, well, no, the code's there. You just shut the box up and hand it over. It's good. Bye. Just absolute madness. So yeah, I feel like that might have something to do with it as well.
Yeah. But then I wonder what they count as a purchaser. Do they count buying the game at retail and then activating it on Steam?
Yes.
Does that count as Steam's having a purchase account?
Yes, because those keys, as far as I'm aware, are flagged differently to keys generated by developers for beta testing purposes, which is what they give to content creators. A lot of the time, as content creators, you'll see when you put your key in, it'll come up with blah 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 for beta testing.
For beta testing.
Yeah. So those keys are generated separately from retail key. As far as I'm aware, as far as I'm aware, that's how it works. That they're flagged differently. But yeah, that has probably got something to do with it. Is that a lot of people are signing up for Steam so that they can indeed play their Bus Simulator 2016 Extreme
for 10 minutes
Blue
before
Bus.
screaming and flinging it out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So it's that whole deal, I feel. But that's a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah, like to still be, becoming. And then I suppose the other thing you've got as well is just like alt account, like stuff like Smurf accounts for CS:GO and shit like that. Like, there's quite a lot of that. Like people that just, they're already like super duper high rank on CS:GO, and then they want to play with their low rank friends to help them get up the ranks and whatever else.
Right.
Maybe some of that's involved as well. So I think it happens, like, not super commonly, but commonly enough that you probably get a fair few trickle through in the month.
I mean, smurfing's not a new thing.
No.
In any way.
So maybe that's additional to it. Another thing that I find interesting, though, the monthly user base for Steam, 67 million so far this year, compared to Xbox Live's 53 million. So they have well and truly overtaken Xbox's service, which I wasn't kind of expecting, I guess. I don't know why, but I've always kind of presumed that console gaming was bigger than Steam. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just wrong.
I can understand that, but at the same point, like maybe and I'm sure we'll get into this a little bit later too, given one of the topics down the road, so I won't go too deep. But I will still, you know me. But the of course now I've completely spaced on what I was gonna say.
No!
I hate when I do that. Yeah, it just, I don't know, the numbers with Xbox and with Steam, I see kind of, well, maybe not even just Xbox, PSN as well, I guess. I can kind of see, like, I don't want to say like a disconnect so much, but for me especially, like, I don't really see the reason to get a console at this point. You know, yes, I have a PS4, yes, I have a Wii U. I know that thing's outdated, but whatever. But like, I don't see a reason to get an Xbox One, and I wouldn't even if I didn't have a PS4.
As somebody who has an Xbox One, don't buy an Xbox One.
Yeah, see what I mean? And like, and that's the whole thing of where that number's declining a ton, and where Steam's picking it up, and that's kind of goes back into what I was saying before as well. With like, you know, maybe it's just there's a lack of confidence in consoles with, hey, the Scorpio's coming out and it's an upgrade of pretty much nothing, but we're telling you it's 4K compatible. And, you know, like everybody's just like, really, dude, it was 2 years ago when I just bought this thing. Like, I don't have another $700 for you, Microsoft. Yo, dude, no, bye.
But I think there's just like there's just different types of gamers though, because like I was sat in the Microsoft conference when they announced the Xbox One X, right? And I was sat there like I'm just really snarkily tweeting the entire time I was there about how fucking shite this entire conference was. What a shower of shit it was. And then Stu, who was sat next to me, who's one of the other people that runs Senshudo with me, was like a kid at Christmas going, "This is amazing! It's for 4K and so many exclusive games." I'm like, you do realise they're exclusive? Put onto console from PC, they're not exclusive, and stuff like that. And it's just like, so you know, there are different strokes for different folks and whatever else, I guess.
But then again,
rare in it.
It's super difficult, I think, to justify the move from, again, a PS4 to a PS4 Pro if you've only just got a PS4. The Wii U to the Switch, I can understand. They're wholly different. Wholly different. There's been a time frame in between. I hate using the Wii U. I hate using the Wii U. I hate using the Wii U.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite. I love mine.
So, I loved the Wii to death. There were some really great games on the Wii that I adored. Right?
I don't enjoy using a controller that's like a fucking dinner plate with thumbsticks. I just don't dig it.
So
it's not my set.
I've got really poor joints. So holding that and not being able to, when my hands are tied, I like to be able to put my hands to the front and be able to move stuff that way. And it's the way that I've always used controllers. When I get tired, I move my hands to the front so that I can articulate things in a slightly more comfortable way. It wasn't possible with the Wii U, and that was really sad. The Switch, I tend to like just prop it up on my desk, take the sides off, and just kind of like sit down in my chair and put a controller in each hand and just kind of flop. And I haven't got to worry about my joints hurting because I'm nice and relaxed. But I totally understand the move from one to the other. Like, I adore the Switch. I think the Switch is absolutely wonderful piece of kit. So the move from there was completely justified. I have a PS4. I use the PS4 a lot. Like a lot. Because I have PS Now, I have PS Plus, I've got an ever-growing library. I'm constantly buying things from Limited Run. So I've got Limited Run games out of my ears, as well as, you know, regular games and stuff like that. As far as upgrading it to the PS Pro, the PS Pro hasn't shown me that I need to do anything else. And I'm kind of like, Sony, why are you asking me to spend more money?
Yeah. I mean, the PS4 Pro is, do you desperately want to use VR for the 5 games that there are? If so, buy a PS Pro.
You gotta be careful, because some of the games that they've developed for VR, they've not done sort of extensive QA with a range of people. A lot of VR games are still making people endlessly ill.
That's
yeah.
me.
right?
I get
Yeah.
vertigo. That it's
I am Team Vomit too. Don't worry.
I'm not too bad, but some of the games massively throw me. I tried a game, must have been about 2 years ago, and I put on the headset and they put me in front of a pit. And I almost passed out because my entire body rocked back and forth to try and get away from this pit, which set the camera reeling.
Was that the sort of like grid-based moving about thing? It rezzed one year, wasn't it? I can't remember the bloody name of it.
Because it was grid-based, instead of you like walking forward, you would just sideways or
it was really jerky.
forward. So I would forward and then look at my feet and there'd be a pit and I would be like rocking back and forth because I'm convinced, my body is convinced, despite the graphics not being realistic, my body is convinced that I am on the edge of this pit. As I rock back and forth, the camera shoots up and down because my headset is going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like I'm done. I don't want to touch a VR headset again for like a good 6 months.
I had that happen once in the exact same experience. It just, all of a sudden I felt like I was sideways. I looked down and I was just like, okay, but there's a floor, but I feel like I'm like this and I don't know what's happening right now. And I'm just like, get this thing off me. Like, we're done. It's not for me. And, you know, for that alone, I don't need a PS4 Pro. Like, I don't. Yeah, my games would load quicker. Big deal. I could just put a better hard drive in.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one. Oh fuck! What's the name of it? The Big Dog Lad and Tiny Boy Adventures that came out on PS4.
The Last Guardian.
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian. There you go. I thought it was
I'm so glad we can translate for you today, Sam.
I thought that was a good description, but hey.
Good job.
That ran like absolute dog shit on a normal PS4, but on the PS4 Pro it actually ran quite nice and quite smooth.
Oh, for real?
That's a letdown. I only have a regular. I wanted to play that.
Aw, yeah, same here.
I mean, it might be better now. This was like day one, so maybe they've patched it and improved by now. I don't know, but like I watched a couple of streams because I was watching two Angry Gamers actually play it, and one of them played it on the PS4, and one of them played it on the PS4 Pro like the day after, and it like or the other way around. And it was like the difference was so stark. It was so.
That's frightening. Then again, that's what it should be as a difference between two systems, in my opinion. So,
And it's why I tried playing Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, and I couldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. We bought Breath of the Wild for the Wii U because I couldn't afford a Switch, but I wanted to play Breath of the Wild because Breath of the Wild, as a horse owner and as an adventure lover, was everything that I ever wanted in a video game. So we bought it early, and I suffer from I forget what it's called, simulation sickness a lot.
Oh.
So walking around in a town where I walk in and the game immediately stutters because there's so much to do, that fucked with me endlessly. So when I got a Switch, we got a Switch bundle where I got the Switch and Zelda and the season pass for it. And I could walk around in the towns and there wasn't a problem. And I'm suddenly like, oh, thank God I can see. oh, thank God I can actually see playing the video game. And that should be the difference in systems.
Yep.
That should be the difference in systems, is this game hardly runs. This game is the most comfortable experience in the world. That should be the difference. Again, with the Xbox One, I've got one of the, like, day one white Xbox Ones, and we genuinely call it the giant white VCR because we never fucking use it. That thing, I don't know if I would want to upgrade simply because we don't use it for anything.
Sure does the Xbox One have a Blu-ray player in it, or is that just PS4? It does?
It does, I think.
Okay, so it has a purpose because Blu-ray players are expensive as shit.
Well, we used to play Crunchyroll through it, and then we realised that the Chromecast does Crunchyroll, so fuck it, we'll just use the Chromecast because that's quicker than booting up an entire console.
Well, and it's also about, I don't know, what price is an Xbox at the moment, minus tenner off of it? Like,
Yeah, it's
you know,
about £280 cheaper than my fucking console was. But no, it's... I don't understand this jumping between console things so early in the kind of development cycle for them, you know? I don't.
No, I get you.
I don't get it.
But they'll do what they do, I suppose. And well, I mean, Steam's definitely not suffering from that same thing, despite the fact that there's a million different consoles out at the same time for Steam. Really, if you think about it, self-made.
Well as different shop fronts. We were only talking 2 weeks ago about people launching their own storefronts to try and get seen. And while Steam is a mess right now, because it's a mess right now. It's working for the people that use it.
I think Amazon's a fucking mess, but it works. People can go on there and order shit, and it works. Like, and well, to be fair, at least Amazon has like partway decent customer service as opposed to Steam, but still.
They have any customer service as opposed to Steam.
That's exactly it. Yeah. But you know what I mean. Like that's
whatever. Right.
It's there. But anyway, I feel we somewhat strayed. While it was a good conversation, I feel like we kind of meandered off and started running for the hills. So let's bring it back and move on to our next subject, which is still kind of buried in facts and figures to a degree, which is GTA 5 is still performing. This game, as old as the hills now, and it's like responsible for a big old chunk of Take-Two's profits. And a big old chunk of their growth, and you know it's still regularly featuring in charts, for like game charts across the world, across various platforms, because it just keeps selling, and it baffles me. Like, don't get me wrong, like I really like GTA 5. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a very well made game. I love that they're continuing to support it, but it makes sense for them to continue to support it because it's still making them money. They're basically in this earnings report. They basically say, "Well, yeah, we're going to keep supporting it because it's making us money." So fair play, really. I don't know. Like, it's really cool, but is it this many years cool? I mean, how many years has GTA 5 been out now? Like, I want to say at least 3?
I was back in Cornwall when I first started playing GTA 5.
Because it had a staggered release, didn't it? So, like, it's kind of hard.
I was going to say, that was on the PS3.
April 14th, 2015.
2013.
And that's on PC.
Oh, 2013 was on 360 and PS3.
Yeah. Right.
There you go. That's crazy.
4 years, and it's still in game charts, and it's still floating Take-Two's profits.
Well, I was watching the Oxcast play it yesterday. Like, they were playing playlists with viewers yesterday, and I sat down and watched a bit of that, and watched them scream and shout and drive cars off of ramps and things. And I think that aspect to it, and the fact that you can do all this silly multiplayer stuff, and you can create your own multiplayer stuff, that's a big strength right there. You don't have to stick to, hey, shoot the ball in the goal repeatedly. You can take the ball to the top of the mountain, set it on fire, and then murder all your friends with it. Good job, you won.
Like, yeah, you can take the golf cart out and murder the guy trying to put the ball into the goal every time, and you know,
right? Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, and if you have helicopters, well then shit.
Sorry, I can go back to a Grand Theft Auto game literally at any time and just walk around and, you know, take out a bazooka and turn on all the cheat codes and, you know, go blow up every car I possibly can and turn on jumping humans, and, you know, like I could just have utter fun with any of those games at almost, maybe except for 4, but that one's a little dull. Other than that, I can have fun with any of the Grand Theft Auto games at almost any time, so it's not too incredibly shocking, but the fact that there's still people that are still buying it en masse like this, to me, is baffling. Like Swirl was saying, like, how are there this many people still that are getting, you know, like, oh man, I never thought to buy this. Really? Yeah. For 4 years. Like, Jesus. Let alone, how is the company itself making the money and not resellers and eBayers and, you know, things of that nature? Because they should be used copies, shouldn't they?
Well, I mean, I have a little bit of insight here. In that, again, I full disclosure, I used to work for Game, who are they're our primary video game retailer in the UK. And
well, about the only chain one we have left, for that matter. Actually,
yeah, to be fair, yeah, they are about the only one we have left. Which explains a lot. We used to have a lot of small children come into the store and say, "My mum says I'm allowed to buy GTA 5, so I'm going to buy it now, okay?" And we'd be like, no, friendo, no, that's not how this works. And then they'd get a bit older and they'd go, all right, my dad signed a letter to say that I can buy GTA 5. Here's the letter. And it would be like, hi, my son deserves a present. Love, Dad. On it. In the scrawliest handwriting. And, they'd get a bit older and their parents would come in with them. And eventually their parents would say, they see worse at home. It'll be fine.
We murder prostitutes all the time.
We would have to explain to them, like, look, there are strip clubs and you can murder prostitutes and from what we understand, there's like heaps of gang culture and stuff like that in it.
Torture. You should see what we do to the postman. God, he's in pieces on the floor as we speak.
And genuinely, parents would turn around to me and go, nah, they see worse at home, love. I wouldn't worry. And every part of me goes, oh.
What the hell are you teaching your kids?
But, I like, whatever. So, as these kids get older and they're seeing people like the Yogscast play, again, playlists are timeless. They're creative.
Yep,
so
very true.
In a lot of ways, these parents are finally going, oh, fine, you're 12 years old. Jeez, you can have your 18 game already. Fuck. And that's just it's a never-ending cycle of my friends want to drive cars off of ramps and shoot each other to death. And GTA is a great way of them doing that. A lot of people don't see GTA as a story game. I don't see it as a story game. I haven't since, like, San Andreas.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, 3 through 6, I felt like, okay, there's a story, but I kind of dicked around more than anything. And then when we got to, like, 4, I did nothing but dick around. Like, I barely got through that game.
Oh, was that 4? Because 4 was piss anyway. Like, the story.
Cousin, let's go bowling.
Yeah. Let's go bowling! No! Stop fucking bowling! The video that's actually playing in the background right now is a competition that me and a few friends did as part of a YouTube series. And we'd have to go around, shoot each other, and take selfies around certain things. So they'd give us a list. And we had to find these things in the city and take a selfie around them. And we also got points for, like, blowing each other up and protecting the guy who was running it and all this sort of thing. I have no idea what the story is. This series was amazing good fun. Super good fun. And it was literally... It was the best! There you go, Matt Sparks in the chat. He organised it on his channel. And I have never had so much fun with GTA. I couldn't give a toss what the story is. I didn't fall in love with the story in the first 10 minutes I played. So I just didn't. I ran around, took selfies, and shot things. And that was wonderful good fun. And I think a lot of parents, a lot of kids... a lot of people who are buying their first PC or whatever, they're moving to university, they're going to LANs and things like that. They're not seeing it as a story game. They're seeing this as a strictly or a mostly multiplayer experience where they can be given like a giant list of things that they've never even heard of in the game ever, and they've got to go and hunt them down in a car and then, whatever. Like, it's good. It's good, and I think that's a definite thing. And I think that's definitely going to be adding to it. That the game is old, but multiplayer is for the most part almost timeless. Good multiplayer, creative multiplayer, GoldenEye, Quake.
Yeah, and the thing is that they're continually adding new shit to it, like new outfit stuff and like cars.
Well, we had the heist thing added. Right? That was a big thing. They're always putting new cars and stuff in it. And again, the modding community keeps it alive as well.
Oh yeah, the RP was it like the I can't remember the name of the thing. I've never been into it, but like like all the RPing communities are huge. Like they've really started to take off even more because there was that cease and desist that was delivered a short while ago, which was then retracted because Take-Two said basically, "Oh no, stop doing the modded servery doodly doos," and then Rockstar went, "Well, actually, that's probably perfectly fine. To be honest, people keep buying the game. Shut up, Take-Two," and so they rescinded it, and so even that is bringing it to the fore. It's making it more well known just due to the fact that became a news story and then a follow up news story and whatever else. Like,
we covered it here. What, like 3 weeks in a row? GTA stuff. Like, it keeps it alive. There's a really good community for it, even on Twitch. People will tune in to watch. Yeah, people will tune in to watch Twitch RP bits and pieces with it. People will tune into. I mean, again, I did yesterday. I watched Simon and Shin and other people whose names I have currently forgotten because I'm tired as all hell, doing playlists with their viewers. I used to run playlists with my viewers. I used to say, hey guys, if you've built a playlist, let's play it. And that's just endless. It's something that I could go back to in a flash without, well, I say in a flash, I'd have to install it again. That'd take about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I installed it yesterday. It took me about 4 hours, 70 something gig, but the download speed was a bit. It wasn't me; it was their servers were just a bit. Which is the international term for bit dodgy, by the way. Just so you know, that's what that noise means. But yeah, I find it pretty impressive that it has this staying power. Like next month, it will be 4 years since the game came out originally.
Crazy that it's been that long. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it, honestly.
No, it doesn't, right?
I remember going to get the Steelbook edition of the 360 release, and I now own 3 copies of this game. Like I actually own 3 copies.
2? Yeah, I want to say I have 2 copies of it.
Well, I got it on 360, and then I bought a PS4 that came bundled with GTA 5. Not that I actually wanted GTA 5 anyway, and I was going to sell it, and then you know how you just go, oh, I'll put that up on... I was just going to sit there. And it had the first-person mode added into it, so I was like, oh, that's kind of fun for 10 minutes. And then everyone decided to play it on PC, so I ended up getting it on PC as well. So, I mean, I can see how the rollover of purchasing continues on, I suppose.
Somebody is saying, Englander in the chat is saying, oh, Sam would buy the Etch-a-Sketch version if it came out. And immediately my brain went, imagine Skyrim on an Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, boy, is it time to move on?
No, because if you throw Dard on the Etch-a-Sketch,
you mess up the Alright.
Think it through, Pip!
I'm so sorry. Should we move on before I say more things? I'm ashamed of.
So, I like this story because it's fucking strange. So this was actually a story from last week.
Oh god, I have to put
a game got released
now. Oh no.
After 22 years of development. 22!
That's a long.
That is quite a long time.
Duke Nukem was that 13?
12 or 13?
Yeah, something like that.
So
to put it into perspective, because we always used to joke about Duke Nukem, typewriters, monkeys, Shakespeare, that kind of. We always used to joke about that. Yeah, this is even longer.
So the game's called Grimoire Heralds of the Winged Exemplar, and it's like your traditional kind of heroes of might and magic. You go forward one block at a time. You build a party of people and equip them up with their weapons, and it's very RPG-ish. And from what I can read, it's like.
I'm really sorry. I've just seen comments in the chat that read, "It looks like a game from 22 years ago," and somebody replies, "It does." And they couldn't be more right.
Oh yeah, but it was only ever intended to look like this, even through all the phases of its development. This is the ultimate RPG game, according to Neckbeard. Oh, I can't really say much about it.
Kind of
nerd dude that coded the game, Cleve Blakemore. He was just like, it's the best fucking game that's ever been made. It's the most in-depth RPG game.
Actually, it's the most in-depth RPG mechanic-wise that you have ever seen and will experience. If you don't understand that, then you didn't understand the game.
People with exceptionally high IQs are the only people that understand Rick and Morty. Same sort of people that
Don't poke it, Krabs. Don't poke your eyes out, babe. Don't do it. Don't.
Actually,
I fucking love it because all the people on iTunes right now, are like, what the fuck?
By the way, this entire time I've been pushing imaginary glasses up my nose.
Yeah, we've been typing and pushing glasses up our nose, not just making fun of anyway.
So he actually ran this through an Indiegogo campaign a few years back, raised $10,000, sorry, and kept announcing that it's done and it's done. Oh, there's some things I need to fix and it's done. I'm just going to add this thing to make it better and it's done. And then
I just need to go get coffee. Hold on, I'll be right back and release it.
Yeah, right. And then it got put on green light for a while. And then it got greenlit on green light. And then it didn't release, and it didn't release. Oh, it's going to be out on this day. It's not. It's going to be out on this date. Oh no, it's not going to. It's going to be out on July 7th. It's not actually. And he basically said, I want it to be perfect. It has to be perfect before I release it. And he's released it, and it crashes. The UI is like a complete confusing mess. It's very possible to get the game into a no-win skate. No-win skate. Skate 3, you can port in Skate 3 and have it not win. No, you can put it into a no-win state quite easily where you build up your party composition a bit wrong, and that's it. You just get slaughtered, and it's just 22 years.
Can I ask how much this is right now? Because you can buy this game right now. If you guys are listening to this and you guys are like, hey, clusterfuck UI, old RPG tropes, yes, crashes, give me
Here's a better
those.
question. What would you pay for this game before we go over how much it is? What would you pay for it
Dude,
this point?
you couldn't pay me to play this.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't.
can't. I'm really sorry, but I'm looking at it and my eyes hurt, and I'm just like, I don't want to put my... Like, I've played Barbie Dreamhouse, I've played the Barbie riding games. I'm used to things that don't quite happen, you know? And I just... I don't know, I think there are so many better alternatives to this. I'm trying to...
The normal time in chat, it's the Dark Souls.
RPGs!
Oh god.
Okay, so in chat so
Pay a solid
far,
5 to 10.
yeah,
$2.
five to 10, $2. See, I was kind of going with I'd pay a couple of dollars to be able to get in on this. How much is it?
30 English pounds.
So
30.
for you guys
Wait,
in
there's more.
Canada, that's like $58, $60, right?
But wait, there's more. He told you the discounted price. It's on sale right now for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you didn't know, look at the very first. The game's available with a 10% discount that ends on
Oh no, that's
August.
finished now. The 10% off. That's
Oh, it's
gone.
off now. Oh, it's
you
gone.
missed
I'm
your
sorry.
chance to get it for 27. It's now the full 30.
I thought it was 33, so there's my mess up. Okay, see, that would have made it even more
No,
egregious,
That would
but
have made it palatable, right?
exactly.
27. That's fine.
we get kids over there.
£30.
Yes,
30.
rightfully so. Fuck that right off, says chat. Wonderful, yes.
Amen.
Absolutely.
The Dark Souls of Steam pricing. That is exactly what that is.
I just to be fair to this game, right? Had this come out a good few years ago, this would have been top notch. Yes, let's go for this. This looks like wonderful.
In one of those big cardboard box
Yes.
looking things to
With
sell
like
your
a
pieces.
woman in a bikini armor on the front. Yes, I can go for that.
With a weird like sword over in the corner to make you know that it's an RPG, then
Yep.
you know, like a dungeon crawler, and not just like, you know, exploitation to sell you the game with, you know, random bikini-clad women on the box, because
Yep.
that's the 80s and that's how we do.
My husband wants to know if it comes with an Amiga. Well, we definitely won't buy it then because I already have 3 of those.
No, it's a Vectrex game. Can't you tell from the
So
look?
again,
Oh Christ!
England
Oh,
in
no.
England in the chat. It has everything a modern game needs. Peter Molyneux.
Peter Molyneux. Oh my God, you guys are actually wonderful, and I adore you. Do you know what, guys? I'm gonna plug a game right now. And now and again, I do this. I interject with a game that you guys could go buy Kingsway. Go away and go and buy Kingsway. This is wonderful that it's come out, and I'm really glad, and I hope that this is archived for years to come. A long time ago, this game would have been wonderful, but in the state it is right now, and knowing how the industry has changed, and gaming habits have changed, gaming needs have changed. No.
I'll tell you what. I'll do you a deal, right? So if you're still thinking, even now, 30 quid, I'm intrigued enough to buy it. No. Drop that 30 quid on the 6 out of 10 Patreon, and Pip will whip your sack up in 20 minutes that's better on fucking Unity, and she barely knows how to use the fucking thing yet.
I tell you what, even better than that, like, if you want Game Maker or RPG Maker instead, I can do you like a cushy Yandere doodad.
There you go.
Or I can do you like a fucking Pong clone, or a cat game. Like, I will make you a cat game. If you put $30 in Patreon right now, I will make you a cat game.
Boom.
Oh god, what did I just say? Don't do that.
I mean,
I don't want to have to do more work this week.
Just check the number, like, spinning up on the Patreon for you to make this fucking cat game.
Just don't make it. Oh god, what was the one that Edmund and Tommy or whatever were making that they backed out?
Oh, I was really excited for that. Don't say oh
I
no.
have a shirt. I have the fucking shirt.
You have a shirt?
Yeah, I've got a paw print shirt that I've got from Tommy's website.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Mutagenics. Yes. Mutagenics looked super good, and I wanted to breed cat. Do you know what? I'm gonna make a game maker game where you have to look after a cat that hates you.
So real life.
Yeah, basically. If we get the Patreon up to like I don't know, like $30. What did we say? Was it $30 you said because of the game?
Per head. £30 a head.
Oh, £30. Alright. Fine.
Right there.
Fine. I won't make
fucking
you it.
$30. I think it's basically at that as it is. I'll just fucking make it. It's fine.
But yeah, anyway, let's go back to what we were actually talking about instead of plugging things like crazy. I think it's good that this game is finally released. I think it's always good for developers to release things. It's one of the most difficult things to finish a thing. Regardless of what manner of content creation you're in, finishing a thing is hard.
Yeah.
I just wish this had been a thing 22 years ago.
Even 21 years ago, I'd accept it. Like,
yeah.
Like, honestly, I was playing the gold box, not D&D, Forgotten Realms games.
Oh, yeah.
In like, the very early 90s, like 91. If this came out in 91, oh my god, you would have never seen me again, dude. Like, I would have been gone. This would have been just my life.
Right.
And like, this is what I was looking for then. And it reminds me of that era, which again is fine. It's, it's a throwback and everything. We've got like Legend of Grimrock. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of where I see a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, it's Legend of Grimrock knockoff, and not realize how long it's been in production.
Yeah.
And that it's probably the other way around to a certain extent, although obviously not. But, like, I can see it having a little bit of a niche for, like I said, the people that are, oh, cool, it's old school. Oh, wow, 100 character slots. Oh, my God. There's some really cool ideas for 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And if they implemented it into a, nowadays updated game that wasn't a Might and Magic style dungeon crawler. Like, look, I love Might and Magic. I love D&D. I love those Forgotten Realms games.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, though, nobody's buying this. I hate to tell you, but there's, like, myself, Tornus, like, I know maybe 3 people total that would be interested who still aren't going to buy it because this price is insane.
Yeah.
It really is.
Just proving that 22 years is enough time for senility to set in before you type your price point into Steam. Like, it's just...
And I understand having to recoup costs because 22 years of costs had to add up for you. So, yeah, I'm sure...
We made 10 grand.
Running an Indiegogo as well is just... Yeah. I feel like that's a bit naughty.
I would have to agree.
I mean, I presume he gave copies back to the Indiegogo people. Right. I mean, I can only presume that was the case.
But again, they're getting a copy of this game
So that was several years ago, the Indiegogo, by the way. Like, it wasn't
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
big
like
yawn from Kitty in the
old.
background. Sorry. Hi. I really like cats.
Oh, I didn't even, Jesus. I didn't even notice.
Other side.
I just tuned him out. I didn't even notice he was there. Honestly, I've had him for 13 years. We're just,
Yeah.
He's always around. I know he's there. I just don't know where.
Sorry, Kitty on the bed had a big stretch and a yawn, and every part of my cat brain went, make a fuss of the cat. I'm awfully sorry. I'm super distracted this podcast. But yeah, again, I hope this gets archived. I hope this is a thing that's talked about. But
yeah, well, we have talked about it and possibly given it more publicity than it's due. To be honest, I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy the game if I played it, but it's to the point where like I wouldn't even ask for a review key because I couldn't stomach promoting a game that was this overpriced. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
I feel weird.
On heart, I don't feel good. So yeah, I think that's where I sit with it anyway.
Again, it's another unfortunate game, right? We've talked about a couple of unfortunate games today, and I think that's going to be another one to add to the unfortunate pile.
Speaking of that, games that are unfortunately still going to come out, Destiny 2.
Oi, you be careful. I don't like it either, but you gotta be nice.
Destiny 2 serves no role other than to hardened fuckboys to get their rocks off to playing a spacey shooter, in my opinion, but there you go. So the PC version of Destiny 2 is the fuck the streamers version of Destiny 2, insofar as they've put in safeguards to prevent you from like injecting code into the game, which you could, I don't know, boost yourself up to be invincible or whatever else. And in doing so, they've gone, you can't capture it as a game. Like, you can't game capture it in capture software, well, like OBS or XSplit or whatever else. Yep. You could like window capture it, which will make it look horrendous and framey and will munch up your resources and whatever else. Or you can play it in windowed mode to window capture it, which will again use up more resources and it will look worse for you as a gamer and blah 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 blah. Fuck off, Bungie is the summation of that. I am sick of your shit and your shit games. Yeah. Anyone else care to comment?
Well, I mean, the first time I heard of this, it was you can't run an FPS counter on top of it.
That too. And Discord hooks as well won't work with it. A lot of stuff will not be able to hook into the game and vice versa.
Right.
Doesn't Fraps automatically give you the FPS counter thing up in the corner? So wouldn't that just completely,
Fraps, yeah. No go.
Wow.
I saw, I think it was Elgato and XSplit both put out posts being like, if you want to capture it, this is how you can do so. It's not, like, it's not ideal, but it means you can capture
your own video card into a capture card again on the same computer, and you're basically double rendering it. So yeah, it's ridiculous. That's
not feasible.
It's just
they're asking you to have a gaming rig separate so that you can hook it up into your capture card. And like, I don't understand why
that's super common.
That extreme.
Yeah. Like I've just moved away from that because it's more cost effective for me to run one rig that's really good than two rigs that are potato, right? It's more cost effective for me to do it that way, so that's the way that I've done it. I like, my stream would look like shit, and my community would be like, babe, what have you done? Like, for serious, why does this look so bad? And I just kind of wonder, was this a trade-off that was worth it? Because I understand the worry of people screwing with your multiplayer, people becoming invincible, people doing whatever to the game. I don't understand video games, so somebody will have to explain it to me. But is that a trade-off worth taking when then streamers, either your game looks like garbage on stream, or they just don't fucking stream it?
Well, I mean, here's my hot take. There are other multiplayer games on PC. You can capture them. So I'm pretty sure if you took the time to fuck about and actually code it in properly, you would be able to make the same situation work for Destiny 2. Like, okay, yes, I am absolutely without knowledge as to how you would do so. Oddly enough, I'm not a consultant on how to make games capturable for live streaming, but odds are, considering pretty much every other fucking game on the planet is able to be captured in this manner, it's probably possible, and you probably could do if you could be asked. So, yeah, I'm not really taking that. Like, and considering how strong a marketing tool content creators are for your games, and especially considering the PC version is going to be coming out later than the console versions, which means this is a second wave of promotion for your game. I mean, that's already bullshit in the first place anyway. But like, it should always be a married up release if at all possible. I don't see why there'd be a huge difference between releasing on PC and on console. But I'm sorry, I'm just stealing your words. But like, it's a second wave of promotion for you. You've got a whole another set of people that are going to start promoting your game. You've got a whole set of people that are going to start re-promoting your game because they've already played it on console, and they're going to go to PC and re-level up over there and play through everything again and the extra content that's been released. Like, and you're just going, nah, don't worry about that. Mental. You're actually mentally askew if you're just throwing that away, in my opinion. Like, it's just madness.
And somebody who was at Taz brought up another good point here in chat too, and flat out imagine when Halo makes its way to PC, because what if the same thing happens there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you don't think people want to record Halo gameplay if it comes to PC? Like, dude, check it out, 4K gaming and Halo, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, apparently you can't record that at 4K because, well, they just don't want you to, because multiplayer cheats, and like, come on, there's cheats in every single game. And not saying, you know, like, oh, that makes it okay, but everybody has found ways to work around it. And for Bungie to just be like, yeah, and it feels like they just pushed it to the side, honestly. Like, it feels kind of like a slap in the face of a bunch of content creators who are, again, like was just mentioned, big advertisement nowadays. We really are. Like, you know, there's a reason people call us influencers. I can't fucking stand that word. But
it happens, and that's why, like...
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, why would you shut out any sort of, at this point, free? Honestly, you're making money off of that advertisement because they're buying the game and then they're selling more of them. So why would you turn that away? Like, I don't see the logistics to it working out for them in any positive way at all. Maybe it will, but you know, like, it seems like for the PC release, that would be a huge market of, you know, interested parties, and it would definitely coincide with the market of Twitch streamers that want to play something on PC that's multiplayer, that's accessible by everybody, and, you know, popular for that matter, because let's be real, those are popular games, especially here on Twitch, right when they come out too. And, you know, I think they're really sort of, maybe they're not, maybe there is something more to it, but it feels like they're half-assing it to me and just kind of sort of neglecting one entire section of you know, market that really should be a much larger focus for them, in my opinion.
That baffles me though endlessly, because of for Destiny, for the first one, it felt like they fostered a community of Twitch streamers. They branded them as Destiny Family or whatever they were called, and they fostered a real sense of community where the streamers would have their Destiny players along with them, and they'd stand in there. Again, I don't really understand Destiny. I've got a couple of friends who play it, but they have little houses, and then they have their different classes, so they know, you know, who plays what, and they're helping people, kind of similar to the Warframe community, right? The Warframe community is very inclusive of new players who don't know where the hell to start, and Destiny, I felt, on Twitch was kind of similar. The people who wanted to pick up Destiny so late down the line, because don't forget you had to pick up Destiny in 2 expansions now. People who wanted to pick it up so late down the line had a line where they could go into a Twitch chat and go, yo, I've just started a Warlock. What am I looking for? Can somebody help me do House of Glass or whatever it was called? And you know, people would fucking be like, hey, I'll help you. Like, hey, this is the kind of gear that you want. Whenever the merchant fella had the right item, it would be all over Twitter that the merchant fella had the right item. Again, I'm paraphrasing like hell because I don't understand Destiny. I haven't really played it. It didn't grab me within the first sort of day or so of playing it, so I didn't kind of catch it. Oh, sorry, 3 expansions, but technically 4. Sorry, my bad. it was a nice community where people could sit there and work through it together, and to completely sort of almost eschew that, to completely kind of go, hey, you guys don't really we're not gonna, that's
cater for you at all.
awful. They will have got so much out of those communities. I know when the Sparrow Racing League thing happened, a bunch of my friends were like, yeah, we're going to teach people how to race their sparrows properly, and it's going to be great, and we're going to push that kind of content, and the merchant says we're going to get as many people through these raids as possible, and, that kind of deal. It was good. It was good, helpful content, and considering the image that Twitch has around some of these big games some of the time, and I always hate bringing it up, but we do. In some games, in some communities, we have a piss poor reputation as you say, influencers, as communities, right?
That is true. It's 100% true.
But that was a genuine good thing in a lot of spaces. And for them to completely push that aside and go, hey, you guys had this great thing, you can't do that anymore. That's awful, surely. And it baffles me where the sense is in it.
Well, there isn't. That's long and short. That's a lack thereof.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, is it's like a lack of not even foresight, honestly, but hindsight more so. And that's what's the most baffling. If it was foresight that they were missing, I can understand that. Maybe you don't know about Twitch, maybe you don't know about content creation outside of YouTube.
Right, and that happens.
But at that point, but yeah, and it does, because there's people, like, I have to tell people every day, like, oh, what do you do for a living? I play video games on Twitch. You do what? Like, wait, what is this? There's a website for this? People don't know.
Yeah.
But with hindsight, they knew, and there's no excuse for just going, yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, you do. I hate to tell you, but you kind of do. That's a huge chunk, and they're gonna miss it. They really will.
Yeah, for sure. And also people are going to be, as Kirsty rightfully says, people are going to be massively confused because it's going to be on the Blizzard launcher.
Oh, God.
And that's also another part of it, actually, because they're going to have to direct, like content creators are going to be part of the network of ways that people get directed into the right place. And this is where you need to go. It's not on Steam. Like, it's not on the place where all of the games are. Mostly, like you need to go to this one particular one, which is very rarely used, and it's only there for WoW and Hearthstone and Overwatch, right? And like that's no.
Yes, Diablo is important. Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I just find it very, very odd. Like, it just, I don't know. It just cutting off potential ways of growing awareness, directing traffic. It's madness.
It's silly. Should we talk about games that are actually good?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We do like to do this on the podcast just every now and then. We talk about games that are good, particularly things that we've been playing recently that we think are actual good fun. And I think it's about time that we did some good. Sam, do you want to talk about yours first while I find the Steam link for it? Because apparently I didn't do that this week because I'm naughty.
Outraged. I'm walking out of this podcast.
Bye.
Oh, thanks. So this is Lethis Path of Progress. So I've been on a bit of a stint of city builders recently. Like, I don't know why, I've just kind of gotten the bug for it again. Oh. So this one is like a steampunky twist on your city builders, and it's very, very focal on improving quality of life in little neighborhoods to build, the size and the prestige of that area, and therefore the workforce, and how much stuff gets consumed in that area, and therefore how much money you make and how much trade you set up and whatever else. You've got missions based around doing that, and it's just really satisfying. There's just something about this one in particular that just scratches an itch for me. I think it's because it does have a bit of sort of extra challenge beyond a lot of other city builders, insofar as people are fucking needy as hell in this game. You want me to have a slightly nicer house, and you're going to have to put every amenity really close by, rather than just kind of roughly in the neighborhood, which is kind of the way of most city builder games. So it takes a lot of extra planning compared to a lot of others to ensure that you kind of get the right layout and to have everything in the right place and have access to everything else. I don't know, there's just something about it. Like the art style as well is just like really nice. Like it's a little different from a lot of other city builders, and yeah, I just really dig it. So I've just been kind of whiling away the hours on this more than anything else recently. So that's my one. It's been out for a little while as well. It just kind of passed me by. So yeah, I've been twiddling away on it, and that's about it for that one.
Neat. Okay, it's kind of steampunky, right?
Yeah, very steampunky. Like there's actually like steam outlets like up in the mountains that you can just go and like plonk a fucking tube on it and then tube that steam around your town. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
All right, cool. Okay, Crumps, tell me about your one while I find a link to it, because again, I'm not terribly organized this week. Yours is one for the future, right?
Stuff. Yeah, for once, we've actually got a preview one, which I guess I'm the first person to actually pull that off, so my bad. But mine is actually Cook Serve Delicious 2 that's coming out very soon in the future. I know people, if you've watched me at all, have actually seen me play it before, and there's a video for it. It's insanely addictive. Yeah, it's just typing, but my God, there are so many different like combinations of things. Oh, there's your favorite toilet flushing. We were talking about that earlier.
I hate everything.
You have to take care of the entire run of the restaurant, from every single order that comes in to the prep of the food now, which is new for this version. Apparently there's, I think, twice as many prep stations as there were before, which, oh my goodness, that's going to confuse me terribly.
That's terrifying.
When you get a full, like, there's going to be 16 stations, apparently. If all 16 are full of food at the same time, there's no way I'm getting that done. There's just no way. And
No.
you know, and it's like, it gives you that real life, like, oh my God, it's really rush hour. What do I do? And you're ripping your hair out. And I tell you, Chubbigans is the name of the dev on Twitter. And he's always putting out dev progress and stuff like that. And just, the man does a lot of research, let's just say. And it's really, really cool to see this coming into focus, alone after having played the first one so much. It's just, oh man, I really recommend these. I can't recommend it enough. It seems so stupid, but this is like one of the most addicting games of the past few years for me. By far.
It's just the joy of abusing your keyboard to make stuff. There's something like I put lasagna in the chat, like how to make a lasagna in the chat.
Yep.
And like, it's really satisfying. Because the noises as well when you're like slapping in the different layers. There's just something.
You have to hit T 6 times and then spice it once and then hit enter. So you T T T T T T T T T. You know, S. Enter. You get this rhythm going on in your head, and it's almost like you're making music to it at the same time. Like it's really, I don't know, like it just brings that smile to your face, and you're seeing good food, and you know, it gives you like, man, tomorrow I need to have a steak, or I need to make like chicken parmesan or something. So, you know, it kind of gets you out of those funks that you're in of like, oh, let's just get a McDouble, you know. It's the small things like that in life. It really is. But the first one I can't recommend enough, and local co-op, as the video just said, actually is coming in this one, which I can't wait to see how bad I make people just fail next to me, because I won't do good for them.
It's elbows in the ribs, right? It's like Mario Kart, but with food. Like just,
and it's going to be a friendship ruiner, much the same way that like Smash and Mario Party is. You know, I can only imagine that once we get into the multiplayer, it's going to ruin friendships.
So, as somebody who, and I'll put my hands up, as somebody who hasn't really played the first one for more than like 20 minutes and kind of went, oh, this is scary, I'm gonna stop before I get angry. Is that something that, genuinely now, is there something that you recommend picking up and genuinely learning to play? Is it that good?
It's, if you get scared by it, like, I'm not gonna lie, it will get worse as you get later on, because you have to keep improving the food. So like you start out with, let's use the fish, for example. You just get a normal fish. You have to chop all the, you know, like hit up, down, left, and right, spice it up or whatever, and hit enter. As you get later on, like you'll add other stuff in, like you may actually have to put a lemon on top of it sometimes. So like you'll notice, like, you know, freaking out while you're doing all these orders. You read one of them and it's like, oh, but this one's with lemon. You're like, oh, geez. And you like, you know, you try to remember it really quick, and like it sounds so, rip your hair out, like I said, kind of, make you worry about everything. But at the same point, it kind of brings you into this focus of learning how to type better. I've improved my typing skills just because of this game.
Right.
And I'm a hunt pecker. Like, I have to look at my keyboard and like, do this, and this one's here, and okay. And this one, it just kind of like, I look at the screen, now I know where everything is. It's honestly, like, you could have given me this instead of, Mavis, what's her name, teaches typing, and Mario, it's a me, Mario, this is an A, type it. That type of, that damn thing. This would have been, as a kid, I would have, oh my goodness, this would have been the best teaching tool ever, by far.
Well, this is the thing, like, the only way I know how to type is typing in the dead.
See, same here.
I'm shouting swears at zombies.
Yep.
And I'm so bad at that one. And it's, I can do this on extreme mode. I can actually perfect days on extreme mode and not beat the entire game on extreme.
Neat.
So that's something I thought I could never do.
Okay.
I turned it on the first day I did a perfect. I'm like, let's just keep going with this, I guess. Like, when you blow your own mind doing something of that nature too, it's that, you just feel like you're all strong at that point. So it's good times. It really is.
All right. Okay. I'll look into it for sure then. Maybe for future stuff. My recommendation for this week is one that we actually finished on stream a little while ago. But I went back and played more of it, and that's not like me in any way, shape, or form. Once I finish the game, I'm usually done because I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. I went back and found more content for this because I'm like, I need to know what the other endings are. I need to know what I've missed because I missed a bunch of stuff from my playthrough. I need to know what's next. The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker is an FMV game. It's an FMV game where you have taken over as a resident psychiatrist and you are trying to figure out which one of your patients murdered the previous psychiatrist. But also you're trying to kind of get to the root of these people's problems. You're trying to work out actually what is it that's bothering them. And can you in fact help them through that? Because as a psychiatrist, that's kinda your job. The game, about a third of the way through, takes a weird supernatural twist that doesn't actually exist, and it's wonderful. It's from then on in, the game fucks with you endlessly, and you question everything you type. The game is also quite closely rooted to actual psychiatry and psychology. A lot of the endings that you get and a lot of the interactions that you get are better or worse depending on how far or how close you stray to actual psychological principles. Which is kind of neat. I like it a lot. I've been back. I've played it to try and get some of the other endings. The game goes from being a straight up psychiatry, like, hey, these people are ill. There's something wrong with them. Let's work out who killed the doctor. To, oh my fucking god, what is happening in this office? I want to leave this office. I want to leave here forever. Please don't ever let me come back. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, and I love it. It gets a little bit frustrating in that sometimes when you type things, the characters are like, no, I don't know what that is. Like, where are your shoes, Mariana? No, I don't know what that is. Mariana, where the fuck are your shoes, Mariana? Get your feet off the sofa. And Mariana's like, no. Should we talk about you, Doctor? And it's like, no! Let me talk about the fact that you don't have shoes on in my office. It's good, it's engaging, and it's quite short, to the point where you can play it over a good couple of days, and then you feel like, yeah, okay, that was a good story experience. Because it genuinely is a good story experience. The other thing is, if you watch somebody stream it, or you do one playthrough yourself and you want to go again, the ending will change depending on how you play it, down to who killed Dr. Decker.
Interesting.
It's done by the people who did Contradiction, but it's much smoother going than Contradiction is, as far as I can see.
I had trouble with Contradiction. Like, I enjoyed it, but it was just it wasn't satisfying to play.
Right.
Like, I didn't really feel like I was progressing, but the game was progressing and pulling me along with it. If that made sense. So I didn't feel like I was the one making the progress. It was just the game was going to spin out in whatever way it was going to spin out.
Yeah. Warning for the faint of heart: there are a couple of jumps in it, and there are a couple of subtle things in it that if you're looking at the wrong part of the screen at the wrong time, your heart will stop and you will shout at the game for being such a dick to you. But that's good because it adds to the way that the narrative works. It goes along with the way the narrative works, and it's cheap. This game
£7?
Something like that. I've linked it in chat. It's cheap. It's a really good, involving experience. You will find yourself loving or hating the characters. There's not a character that I had feelings about. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a character that I didn't particularly care about out of the sort of main cast. In the auxiliary cast, yeah. A lot of the auxiliary cast you can just ignore and it doesn't affect your gameplay. The main cast, each one of them is either endearing or disturbing according to their quirks, and they're done very, very well for the twist that the game gives you. It's good. Go buy it. Go play it. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do get a lot. That's why I had it as my game of the week at one point before I passed the torch on to you to actually play.
Yeah, and I kind of went, I don't know how I feel about this. And then it got to the point where on cast I went, guys, we're going to play something else. I don't think I can deal with this anymore today. We're going to play something else for a little bit. We'll come back to this tomorrow.
So now we're passing the torch to you, Crumbs. This is...
Now I have to be the one that gets tortured by actually buying this and playing it, I see. Fair enough. It does look
and played it too. Don't worry.
Like, it honestly does look like something I'd enjoy, so, that ain't too far out of the realm of possibility.
The acting's a bit hammy on occasion, but it drives the point home that they're all a bit,
But
they all belong in a psychiatrist's office, including your secretary. You will grow to hate your secretary with every fibre of your being.
But no, the thing is, the ending that I got for the game, and I won't say what it was for fear of spoilers, but the ending that I got from the game actually goes a long way to explaining the hammy acting as well. Like,
yes.
It actually works to explain it, which is just kind of weird. Like, I don't know if it was intended to do so, but it kind of does.
So do another 2 out of the 8 endings that you can get. They play along with that as well. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it depends on how far down the rabbit hole you go with these people.
Yeah.
No, I don't love Jaya. Jaya can get the fuck out. I tried on multiple occasions to fire my secretary during the course of the game.
Instead, you accidentally gave her a raise.
Yes, I did. Because I'm not good at reading.
How the hell does that happen?
Sometimes you type things and they just take it 2 steps ahead. It's the unfortunate nature of the game. The game works on a keyword principle, and sometimes you'll say something and they'll go, "Oh yes, my dead cousin Amanda," and you're like, "Who mentioned a dead cousin Amanda?" But yeah. It's good. It's good. It's cheap. And the characters are all mental, and it'll make you think a little bit about stuff maybe. So go play that.
Yes.
Let's talk about narratives then, I guess, because we've just gone from my favorite narrative of the last week to
the fact that this is a personal opinion that I'm impressing upon everyone else, and that is that narratives ain't what they used to be. Whether it's because I'm getting old or what, but I kind of feel that modern day narratives just aren't as developed, they aren't as well rounded, they aren't as involving, they aren't as heart-wrenching and just pulling you along for the ride in general as they were 10, 15 plus years ago. Like, they don't have that same sort of creating a bond or an attachment between you and who you're playing as, or who your character's interacting with, as they previously did, to the point where when there is a game that has genuinely good narrative, we sing and shout about it a lot. because it's a rarity now as opposed to the norm. And as I say, I don't know whether that's just me. Well, what do you guys agree with that rough sentiment?
Sadly, 100% yes. We were talking about this last night, once again, to bring up Final Fantasy 15, because we just have to go back to that and bring the knife one more time.
Body punches in.
But like we were talking about this in my cast last night, and how because we had one of the guys that actually worked on 15 came in, and I was giving it a little bit of my usual shit at the time. If you know me, I tend to call out anything that's wrong with video games because I break them constantly. I just do. And
yeah, I feel you.
We were talking about how it got rushed, and sure, that wasn't the only problem with it, but the story just doesn't ever really go as deep into what needs to be gone into as it could have. Like, I'm trying not to spoil anything with it or get too in depth on 15, but the whole, like, the idea of the Star Scourge is like the story of the game, and they just kind of like, yeah, but this is your bad guy, worry about him, and just kind of blow it off and don't ever really say anything. And yeah, the stuff is there if you look, and if you buy like the 900-page Final Fantasy 15, compendium book, whatever it's called,
and watch the fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then watch the movie and watch the anime and play the King's Clave game. I forget what it's called, but the the little anime game or whatever. And like have to do all
defense
that
game.
Was there one?
Yeah,
you mean the Empire?
Yeah.
One.
What about the fishing game that's coming? How much lore will I discover from the VR fishing game?
The grouper. I mean, come on. How are you ever going to have your complete Final Fantasy 15 experience without the backstory of Groupie the Grouper? Come on.
This card appears to have eaten a magical artifact. I wonder what import this could have on my journey.
Maybe I should put on my VR goggles and shoot my Prompto gun into the water and hope that it's much like shooting fish in a barrel, and hey, we win. Like, and back to the story thing, like she said, like, that isn't going to add anything. Let's be real. And, they had to separate out parts of it, quote unquote, for, the season pass and turn it into this long, drawn out 2-year process of giving you the whole story of 15. And it doesn't need, like, a Final Fantasy 7. We're even going back to games where we had a good narrative, debatably good narrative. We'll get there. But, like back in the day when we had the RPGs that were like, oh my God, I care about, Aerith, what the hell? That stuff. And there's no Aerith nowadays. There's no Sephiroth and Aerith moment. There's no, anything like that. And even with those stories, we're going back and remaking them now, and they're going to split up 7 into different pieces and draw it out the same way that 15 is going to be. And it's like, we're going to lose the entire story in the process, guys. You have to go concisely. Here's where it starts. Here's all the stuff that happens. Oh my God, it's getting really crazy. Here's the end. Like, that's how I know it. I don't go, all right, here's like the first third of it that doesn't end on any sort of ending point other than, hey, here's where disc 1 ended on the old PlayStation days. You just happen to leave the town. Here's the end of part 1. It's not a big, sure, it's a moment, but it's not a big, Sephiroth moment that you should put an ending in it to be continued at. And, like you're saying, it's just, the whole narrative just gets lost in everything now. And at like 15, back to it, like we said last night, it just, sure, it's a story, but it doesn't feel like a full, complete, oh my God, I really care about these guys. What's going on? What's with that opening scene? Nobody understands the opening scene of that game, even after playing it. And that's where the story got lost, because it's obvious. I don't want to spoil it, because I know somebody's in here watching my playthrough for the first time, but like, yeah, it's.
Well, yeah, we had a discussion about
why
the opening song didn't fit the situation particularly well. And yeah, having played through it, I can kind of see how it fits. But also, this is a game for new, for beginners and old fans, or whatever the fuck the turn of phrase they were using with it. Whereas, if I don't understand the need for this and how this works from the outset of me turning on the game, then why it's not for the new, particularly.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah,
and that's like the theme song in a fucking game, like.
I kind of bring it back to what Chat's saying. Chat mentions Kefka a lot, and Kefka's always the one that I think of. That moment where Kefka just destroys everything.
anything.
And you sit there and you go,
Well
oh.
You won.
You have that oh moment. And I remember, because I come from a point and click background. Point and clicks were my jam, that's where I come from. I have a Grim Fandango tattoo because Grim Fandango was the game to get me into video games. And there's a part in Grim Fandango where your main hero, Manny, is chasing a woman across the land of the dead. And he sees her as she gets on a boat, and he goes to grab hold of the boat, and she throws a bottle at him, and he falls into the sea, right? So this woman that you've been chasing, that you want to look after, she actively stops you from being able to save her. And you take a moment, and you sit back in your chair, and you go, Ooh. What? You know, these story moments where you kind of sit back and you go, like, that's what gaming and storytelling specifically should be about, is those moments. There's a really great moment in Monkey Island 3 where he produces this cursed ring and he puts it on her finger and she turns to gold, and you sit back and you go, you stupid. And he leaves. He goes to find out how he can break the curse. He comes back, and what has happened in this pirate-infested town that he's left his fiancée as a gold statue in? She's been kidnapped by pirates because they think she's treasure. And you sit back and you go, oh, here we go. Yep, there it is. And it's like, again, I can think of all these amazing moments, but I can't think of one that's recent. I can think of good stories, but I can't think of a story that gripped me so hard that I didn't want to let it go. I'm thinking about things like Golden Sun. I'm thinking about even back as far as as close even as Final Fantasy X, where you suddenly realize what your main character is all about. And again, I won't spoil it in case you haven't played it, because 10 is one of my favorites. I know, you should go and play it. Go play it, even if it's just for the hammy laughter that makes sense.
The part that really gripped me in 10 was the part where Tidus finds out stuff at Albed's home. That fucked me up. I was like,
that was the scene.
Whoa.
Yep.
And somebody just brought it up, Nino Cooney. There's, in the beginning, the big story plot.
That I can't watch anymore. I started a new game of Nino Cooney the other day because I'm excited for the second one. I gave my controller to my husband. I said, play through the beginning bit for me. Let me know when it's done. Because I can take it. I can take him being upset about it afterwards. I'm a proper mummy's girl, right? So I cannot watch that beginning section at all because it plays with my emotions to no end. I can't do it. So there's a really good example of a recent one. I'm thinking of stuff like Until Dawn, where the narrative grabbed me massively.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was a moment where I kind of went, no, I lie, there was. There was a moment in Until Dawn where I suddenly went, yeah, I need to play this. One of the characters, it turns out, is more than he first appears. One of the characters that you play as is more than he appears, and you should see it coming from the beginning, and you don't. Nobody I know saw that coming from the beginning, and you kind of sit back and you go, okay, but that's a couple.
And that I appreciated how clever that was written in, and I appreciated how cleverly it played out, but I wasn't invested. I wasn't gripped.
No, in all of them, no.
I enjoyed the experience, but I wasn't there with it, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Whereas stuff like Mother 3, every single character you play in Mother 3 you care about. Otherwise, you're not playing it right. Hands down.
Pretty much. Yep.
Chrono Trigger, which I mentioned earlier, like, I mean, you've got the scene where Chrono challenges Lavos, and then you're just, as a kid, I was 16 or 14 when that came out, and playing that, I don't know another game at the time where your main character just goes, and you're just like, my mouth was wide open, jaw was on the ground the entire time playing through that. You know, I'm clicking the A button and just like, there's no way this just happened, no fucking way. And it gives you your party back, and you're without him, and you're like,
whoa,
the fuck do I do? He was the only guy I leveled. Oh my God. Oh God. You know, and like it just gives you that like whoa moment, and then you kind of start hearing rumors of you can bring him back, dude. And you're like, I need to know, I need to do this now. Like, you know, like you get invested in it to the point where you are like jumping off of your seat to bring this guy back. You know, so that you can get to that part of the story and be like, yes, you know, like that type of stuff. And I haven't had that since. Ni no Kuni had those moments, like I said, but you know, since probably Super Nintendo era.
Big game though, to keep that level of intensity. It's a very big game to be able to deal with that, and that was a problem that I did have with Ni no Kuni. Was it's a very daunting experience because there's so much to it, and the narrative intensity drops off the second that you have Pokemon battles to do, and you have stamps to collect, and but that's me again. Like I'm not enjoying The Witcher 3 as much as other people do because there's so much to do, and I'm like, oh, but.
And she just brought up my problem with the Witcher series in general. I played 1 and was just like, where do I go? There's so much to do. And now look at Witcher 3. There's an infinitesimal amount more to do. And what am I going to do? I'm going to ADHD off the walls.
Well, I don't want my hand held constantly. I would prefer a little tap on the shoulder and a, hey, that direction is probably your best bet. You know? It's one of those things, but again, like I get super daunted by big games because I don't have a lot of time. What I will say for The Witcher 3 though is that the smaller story arcs as you complete them, so things like the Baron and the tree in a cave thing with the horse, those sort of mini stories are so brilliantly written because I didn't know what to do. And that is wonderful. To move away from a Paragon Renegade system and into a complex, this happens but has X consequence, or this happens but has X consequence. And you sit there with chat and you go, chat, I don't know what to do. Nothing I do here feels right. Or you go, hey, this feels right. And then as consequence Y comes in, you go, no, this wasn't what I intended. No, this wasn't what I intended at all. And again, it's a sort of Kafka moment. Your intention is to beat the bad guy and to be the hero. And suddenly Kafka comes along and goes, it's really funny. Do you know what I'm gonna do?
You thought wonderful. It was him.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually wonderful. This method of writing where you almost feel trapped by consequence. Where art sort of, again, like art imitates life, right? We all have that thing where we all make these trade-offs. These trade-offs hurt in one way or another. There is never a Paragon or Renegade moment in real life. There isn't. There's no true Paragon and true Renegade moment in real life, like ever. That's not a thing. So to bring that realism into games is super interesting, and I hope that that's something we see more of, because there's nothing more dull than a Paragon playthrough. Let's be nice to everyone. Renegade playthrough. Let's be a dick to everyone. Yeah, like no, there's nothing fun about that.
No.
Literally.
And that's where like Walking Dead and the Telltale ones kind of give you that mixture. Yes, you still have a Renegade and you still have a, there's the, extreme polar opposites. There's really only so much you can do with it. But at least it hides it a little bit better. It doesn't flat out give you like, hug this person or kick this person square in the junk, as like, Renegade or your good. And kind of.
I mean, Wolf Among Us does give you those exact options, but.
Yes, it does. That's a little bit different though, because Big D's a little bit of a dick. So.
Yeah.
But then that gives it some kind of dimension, right? And that brings you into, it pulls you into that world. Again, it's a world with consequences. And Bigby, unfortunately, has to deal with a bunch of consequences because he's an asshole. Or at least my Bigby's an asshole. Because
so no, a lot of punching, not so much talking. That's how my Bigby was.
Yeah. But it's cool. Motorbike jackets and spikes. Cool. I think I'm a lot cooler than I actually am, I feel. But yeah, no, we're getting these narratives back. And again, I'm a fan of point-and-click games. And to have something like Thimbleweed Park. Thimbleweed Park was really neat. I didn't care about everyone, but it was a step closer than the reiterations of Monkey Island that we had, and it was a step closer than the weird Jurassic Park, Back to the Future.
Oh God,
The Future was okay. That Jurassic Park game was a fucking travesty, though.
Right?
That I'm still trying to go back because I'm a completionist and I like to achievement hunt. Oh my God. I tried to go back to that, and just you look at one screen of it and just go like, wow, this is when they were first starting these things, and you can tell like it's night and day difference from where Walking Dead is now and where Jurassic Park was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So bad.
If you, I'm gonna plug another game really quick. If you are an achievement hunter and you like verb-based point-and-click adventure games, go by Thimbleweed Park, because there are specks of dust in the game. Specks of dust that you collect, and if you don't collect all of them, yeah, you start a new game and you start again. You don't get the achievement unless you get all the specks of dust, and it is literal pixel hunting, like we used to do when we get stuck because we didn't have the internet.
Remember those days where either like if you had the Nintendo hotline, that was like the only option you had other than praying to God that they put Nintendo Power next to
$87 a minute.
Oh, hold on, let me go get the book for you, kid. And 3 minutes later, they come back $21 richer, and like, oh yeah, they knew the answer the whole time. And just like, oh, what we're looking for is you need to go into Dracula's castle and simply hit him because he won't move. Like, oh yeah, well, up, kid. Wow, damn, man, that was worth the $38 you just paid me. Good day.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me, how do I solve the tree stump puzzle? Somebody in
Where's
chat.
Man Kirk's wife?
And all you can hear down the end of the phone line is just.
Hold on. We got.
I wonder how many more minutes I can do this for before they'll just hang up.
Why can't Metroid crawl? That's my favorite. I swear to God, when those games, when we got that, and Miiverse was a thing, and people were like, how do I make Metroid do a ball? Like, yeah, this is my favorite timeline. Like, this is wonderful. This is actually wonderful. Miiverse
you know what was really, really good storytelling as well? Was it Unwritten Tales? That fucking... that 4-part
Stories
game.
Untold.
Stories Untold.
Yes! Stories Untold is wonderful.
That is some fucking storytelling right
Yeah,
there.
it is.
That was gripping.
But it also builds atmosphere. It does that really well. It uses sound design super well.
Hey, Crumps, you know another game that you should totally pick up.
I feel like me and Sam are just mentioning all these games that I love, and everybody always does this. They sit there and go, yeah, that one, yeah, that one, And I always worry that my game taste comes across as like the weirdest fucking thing. Because I'm like, hey, play Kingsway because it's Windows 95 plus D&D. Hey, play Blitzball endlessly. Play Pyre because it'll make you cry. But also play Deca because it's frightening a little bit. Cool. Good talk,
Deca,
everyone.
Made me shout fuck off for 10 minutes on cast.
I did. I looked away from the screen and I said fuck off for 10 whole minutes. It was wonderful. What a great experience that was. Oh, I shouldn't be allowed to. I genuinely shouldn't be allowed on this website. I should not be allowed on this website in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, no. There's some good examples of good storytelling. But you look at things like Dante's Inferno, for example, which is based on one of my favorite pieces of literature, and I'm like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
What? You look at, what was the Journey to the West? Enslaved.
Yes.
Yeah.
You look at the potential that could have had, and you go, and I wonder if it's to do with sort of development times or audience types now.
Enslaved was a competent game.
Right,
it just wasn't story delivery.
No, and I really hope that stuff like Beyond Good and
Dante's
Evil.
Inferno is another one that kind of comes to mind. I mean, again, look at all the source material you've got to work with. Yeah, it was okay, but I mean, that was such an on rails like action adventure, quote unquote platformer that, like, I don't know, it kind of took away a little bit of something from it and never really felt like it got into the story. It was just like, all right, here's your Metal Gear-ish section, and here's like 5 seconds of like, oh, did you know that you're dead? You know, and that's
Right.
That's not where they went.
Right. Whereas, like, Divine Comedy and everything is like, it's all wonderful. All of it, from start to finish. And you didn't need to put all of it in, start to finish, but some context, and then actually drawing from the literature further than, "Maha, you're dead. This is hell, ha," would have been wonderful. Super good.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we got that mess. I just...
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's there is less, or do you think it's kind of like a perception of time? Because like if you kind of look back at the things you enjoyed as a kid, you'll cherry pick the fantastic TV shows that were on when you were a kid. There ain't any like that nowadays, apart from this one and this one and this one and this one and this one, which were all spread apart a little bit. But were they spread apart a little bit back when you were a kid as well, and you just remember your childhood as a chunk of time, as a sort of a single segment, as opposed to each year, each month, each day that you're experiencing now? Maybe that's more what it is, because like Valhalla was like the most fantastic vertical slice of a universe. It's the best book I've ever played. Like it was fantastic. But like that's another example of like a recent game that does that kind of storytelling very, very well. But am I just viewing that as further apart than stuff that I played as a kid? Like, you know, different releases done further apart, and because there's more stuff in the market overall, I view the market overall as having less value compared to the fewer games that were available back then. Is it a perception thing, or is it a reality thing? That's I guess that's kind of my wondering.
And yeah, I'm being, you know, the old guy around. I'm usually the oldest guy in any of these conversations. But yeah, kind of the same thing. Like, I don't know, like I did get my hype up back in the day when I saw stuff, but it was such a limited, what am I trying to say? Like, it was such a limited view or scope of what was coming out that we were actually able to view, whether it was Nintendo Power or Electronic Gaming Monthly, you know, any of these things where you would just see like a picture and a 1-paragraph blurb about, hey, Chrono Trigger's coming out, and this looked beautiful. Like, that's what sold me Arc the Lad, was I looked at it like, whoa, that is the most amazing looking picture I've ever seen. I got to play this.
It really looks like a tree, you know.
The 3D is real, man. Holy crap, you know, like, and it wasn't that good. But beside the point, like I guess back then I was a little bit more, as Chrono Trigger comes on screen, beautiful timing. But like as back then, I don't know, maybe I was a little bit more reserved in how hyped I got myself for anything. And nowadays, like, everything is this hype train of, oh man, NBA 2K18's coming out and it might be in the Olympics. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, that didn't make it better. Like, you know, like everybody kind of gets this, you know, like No Man's Sky that we were talking about. This humongous hype train that can't possibly get off the tracks at any point, right? Except that it never got on the tracks in the first point and it's running backwards, you know? So to me, it's a little bit, I think, pushed towards the letting yourself build the hype up too much. You know, like back in the day, I think I was just a little more reserved than I am now as far as that goes. And that's weird because I was a kid. And, you know, usually think like, oh man, oh, blah, 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 you know, and I just kind of went, okay, cool, I want to play that. And it just never went to extreme, you know, kind of like fanboyism levels, if you would. Like, it does seem to a lot nowadays. Maybe it's just with the internet, I see it more. But I just don't think, even my friends never really, you know, like at school, would never just be like, dude, did you see the new thing? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And before internet, I know, but we never had those moments. And I think nowadays it's more the hype that's having those moments. And then you find out it's not as good later on. That kind of kills it all off.
I think part of it as well is, don't forget, we were children, and so we were limited to our parents' income and our parents' choice and things like that for a great deal of time, right? For the longest period of time, personally, I had Amiga and I had the computer, and then eventually I was given a PS2, but I didn't have like anything in between those, so I missed out on a great deal. A lot of the stuff that I buy now, I buy games all the time. As a content creator, I am receiving cards and doing previews and stuff all the time. Back then, I had Harvest Moon Back to Nature for the PS2. I had that for 6 months, and that was the only game I had. And then I had to buy a memory card because it didn't work with PS2 memory cards, only PS1 memory cards. So 6 months later, I managed to convince my parents to get me the right memory card so that I could actually play more than the first, like, week over and over and over again. And for a long while, that was the only... I got really good at that first week, right? I got really good. But I got, you know, that was the only game I had for a long while. We had the Amiga, so we had Monkey Island, right? And for the PC, we had stuff like Simon the Sorcerer, and we had Grim Fandango, right? But that was all we could afford at the time. And my parents, my mom, didn't really understand video games all that well. So she would pick a game that she liked, latch onto it, and that was all she would buy. Whereas again, now me and her, we buy games all the time. My library has got, it's closing in now on 600 games, and I don't like more than half of them. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it too, is I'm experiencing a lot more content now than I was then. So whereas before, you had a standout title, and you knew it was a standout title, so you would buy that standout title, and you would play it. Now, it's like a lucky dip whether we hit that standout title or not. You know, we've been talking about No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky could have been wonderful, but it wasn't. That was still a game that I experienced. Barbie Dreamhouse, unfortunately for Barbie, was a piece of shit. I still experienced that. Deca was great. I experienced that. Like, Legion is okay. I am experiencing that, right? It's that thing of I'm experiencing so many games at the moment that it becomes this weird kind of mesh of okay and good. Whereas before, all I had was good, things I hate touching. Right?
Yeah.
Mylon Secret Castle, Super Mario Brothers 3. Enough said.
Right, there. Yeah. It's a weird one. So yeah, I think that factors into it as well, that we are actively consuming more now as adults than we were back then. And again, we have to be selective with our money, because I know my resources are fucking
we can't
finite.
buy infinite.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but my resources are certainly finite. So I have to be quite selective over what I play. But I'm not going to play the same game for 6 months because nobody will buy me another game for 6 months.
And then equally, do you think that colours your perception? Because your means are limited, but the market is saturated, and then you purchase a game that's not all it's cracked up to be, or made up to be, like, do you think that also colours your perception of how common good games are? Because you've had negative experiences within limited means, as opposed to limited experiences but a limited market. So you've not really had that much experience. I think that could be part of the color towards it as well, really.
Absolutely. And, you know, like both of you were saying with the, you know, I don't want to say the flood, because, I mean, well, I do get a lot, but, you know, like with all the preview codes and everything that you get, it's, you know, I'm not saying that nothing stands out. I've gotten plenty where I've been like, oh, cool, I'm actually excited to play this. And, you know, it does happen. But, like, to be real honest with you, like was said, like, nothing has ever really stuck out again as, like, you know, from, mind you, I was 14, so can you really say that I was a kid experiencing Chrono Trigger? Because that's the one that I keep going back to as my piece de resistance as far as video games go. That is art in my book and will always be so. And, like, yeah, nowadays it just, you don't get that same experience, and I don't know if I'm jaded from it, because all of my really good video gaming experiences, quite honestly, were from that age. So probably a lot of jadedness, quite honestly. And, you know, like you were saying, like, I didn't have, you know, like the market per se that you have now of this, like, infinitesimal amount of games. And not just that they're all getting handed to you either, but, like, you know, I've got so many that it's just like they kind of blend together. I hate to say on Steam, they really do, and nothing stands out as that, you know, that primo, you know, like wow, once a year you're going to get Final Fantasy VI, you're going to get a Chrono Trigger, you're going to get Donkey Kong Country, you're going to get, you know, insert whatever, you know, phenomenal game it is. And it doesn't have that same, you know, like, hey, that one time this year, wait for it, December, man, December 12th is going to be the time. Trust me. I don't feel that anymore. I really don't. And, you know, like I said, maybe it is the kid factor, like you were bringing up. I hope it is, to be honest with you, but I don't think it is. Yeah. I just don't think it is anymore.
It worries me slightly, see, that, you know, you say that. I don't know if there's a game from this year that I would hold on to and never let go of. Grim Fandango, I would hold on to and never let go of for the rest of time, right? Breath of the Wild, I enjoyed, but I don't think I would want to hang on to that and tell everybody about it until the ends of the universe. Whereas a lot of the stories I played as a kid, I feel like I would. Witcher 3 is worth a mention, but, you know, the mechanics in the world let it down.
You know what, like, I love Persona 5. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't talk about it the same way I talk about Suikoden 2 now. Like, oh god, great, so good. The thing with the storyline where it does the thing and the best villain and blah, no, so many characters. And like, I wouldn't do that with Persona 5. As much as I enjoyed it, as much as I think it's like probably easily a 9 out of 10 game, which is probably about where I'd peg Suikoden 2 because it did have its faults. Like, yeah, I wouldn't rave about it forevermore. And that's...
Again, it comes down to, for me, like, I've got Manny on my arm, and I plan to add Simon the Sorcerer on there and Guybrush with LeChuck looming over the top, right? And then it's that lot with LeChuck over the top, and it's going to be wonderful. I don't think I'd get any games from any of the last couple of years tattooed on me. Like, they don't mean half as much. I don't know. It's an odd one, but it's nice to know that I'm not alone in that. Yeah.
And same thing. It's like, it sucks too, because that also means that we're not, you know, in the same like heyday of video games. And like Sketchy Doodles just said in chat, we're oversaturated in entertainment in general.
Yeah.
And it shows, because now we're getting like, hey, let's remake RoboCop. Was that even that big of a hit in the 80s? Because I remember the one scene from it. We all know which scene. And other than that, I really don't remember the narrative of the story where it took place. I know it's in Detroit, but like, you know, like I don't remember specifics about it whatsoever. It's not an all-time classic. Why the hell do we need to remake it?
Well,
you know?
well, Robert Kopp went out and
like the same way that like even like Terminator and stuff was, because you're talking about a movie that didn't. Peter Weller wasn't really a huge name by any means. And I'm sorry, I'm reading off a chat and responding to it now here, but like I don't think it was that blockbustery, if you will. Like, yes, big movie, but I don't think it was the same level per se as like, and I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore, but as like a Terminator. Like, it's, I don't know, the oversaturation level, though, getting back to it, is just, it's everywhere now, and video games especially, I'm worried, are kind of going towards another bust, honestly. I think it's going to happen sooner than later, to be real with you, because we're getting so much junk. There's a lot of junk.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely, and I think Steam, Greenlight, and Direct is... Yeah.
Not helping, is it?
No.
But yeah, like there's... I don't know when my last experience that was so amazing that I have to continually trumpet it was. Like, we even talk about like Stories Untold and stuff like that quite a bit. And whilst they were great experiences, will I be still banging on about it in 5 years' time? Probably not. Like, the last one that affected me in that kind of way was probably like Final Fantasy X, which was what, 7 years ago?
Yep.
Longer?
More than that, actually.
Something like that.
Because that would have been, oh geez.
Oh, no, way more than that. What am I talking about? That was like,
24.
I was still at school. So,
You're probably looking like 2004, 2005,
yeah,
Okay.
that sounds about right.
give or take.
Oh, let's not go back in history any further than that.
But I could.
Back to the vaults.
I was gonna say I don't want to feel older than I actually am today. I'm already broken and arthritic today. Like I don't want to. I don't want to go back any further than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having trouble muddling through the reasoning behind the lack of, because maybe the stories were just better because that's all they had to work with back then. Your graphics were just a janky looking cube wandering around a janky looking platform, and that's about it. Like, the story just kind of has to carry itself, and that's that.
Yeah.
So I'm very torn. I'm very, very torn.
Yeah, same. But again, I think it's nice and it's heartbreaking that we all kind of feel the same way about this. It's great that I'm not alone, but it sucks that we haven't had a narrative experience that's pulled at us that hard since then. And I'm really excited to find out when the next one will be. Honestly, that's a super exciting and hopeful thought, I think. I keep
holding out hope that it's going to be the next one I pick up, and it just, they never live up to that expectation, sadly. And one day it's going to happen.
One day you're going to pick up a game and it's going to be like, oh, and you're going to have that, you're going to have that moment, and it's going to work. Seeing as people
is about the closest. And that, like was said, like even 5 years from now, I can't just be like, dude, you need to play for the final battle where the fucking guy gives you a tutorial. Do it.
Please play Ni no Kuni, but don't worry about the first 10 hours when the menu's not complete.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's nice that we've all hit a consensus, and I feel maybe that we should wrap up today's podcast there.
Yeah, I think we've covered the ground.
Yeah, for sure. We always have one thing left to do, which is to name our episode. And usually we let chat help us with this. Why was this week's podcast 6 out of 10? My title for this week, I think, would be, because traditionally I go first, 6 out of 10 swirly, what was it? Swirly, swiggle,
I don't even remember.
asshole Jamaica.
Ask Englander, because Englander posted it in chat. Ask him to push up a few times on his keyboard.
Yeah,
and post it again, because he had it all down. I don't remember what I said. Must be a joke.
But 6 out of 10, 22 years in development, I also kind of like that we've seen in chat.
6 out of 10, big dog and little lad.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, here we go.
6 out of 10,
bug
swirl,
on
swirl,
Lightbulb
bug.
arsehole Jamaica.
I'm laughing too hard at that one. We may have our winner.
I mean,
yeah.
That's going to be sick for the SEO, if nothing else.
Oh my god.
Up to Senshudo for Jamaican arsehole.
I genuinely think that we've already hit our title for this week, and that is 6 out of 10 Swirly, Swirl, Bug, Ankh, Lightbulb, Arsehole, Jamaica. Crumps, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me and giving me the laugh of an entire week with that name.
It's wonderful, right? It's. My internet's just having a hiccup. Give it a second. Internet, don't do this today.
Internet plus.
There we go. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Please tell everybody who's watching and listening who you are, where they can find you, and what you're up to this week. Tell us what you are up to this week.
Well, I'm the crazy cat guy, as we've been seeing the entire time. So I'm basically all taking care of them. But in between that, I do play video games here on Twitch. I tend to do it just about every single night, which is, what time do I start? 10 p.m. Eastern. You think I'd know this by now. Because, I'm one of those crazy West Coast American guys. So I'm in the weirdest time zone, like, ever to most people.
That's 3 a.m. UK time, ladies and gentlemen.
Enough said. But yeah, the like I'll be playing Final Fantasy games most likely. I did just break my gaming PC, so again, another thing we were talking about with having two gaming rigs or two rigs to not me anymore. We're playing a lot of console stuff, guys. So we're probably going to go back to like Super Nintendo things. I've got a 3DO and a lot of really bad games for it. Cough, cough, plumbers, don't ties. So we'll probably go through some of that too, just to do it, and just kind of relive the past a little bit while I figure out what I'm going to do with my computer. So, but yeah, we do it. We just we hang out, we have good times, we get really hungry because we always talk about food. The cats make complete mockeries of me and take over the cast. It's it's a good time. So the usual, as I like to say. But yeah, it's honestly it's a good time. The link's in chat for you already. It's twitch.tv/Crumps2. That's where I'm pretty much always at.
Cool.
Youth?
Is it my go?
Well, it's your go, because like you always ask me, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just shout sometimes, and occasionally I do a stream, and don't worry about me. What are you doing this week, Pip?
Alright, so, as per usual, my name is Tiny Pixels. You guys can call me a variety caster. Play lots of different fucking things. We do lots of stuff, and it's good fun. Sometimes I just open post for 3 hours, and we sit and chat because I'm tired. I've been super exhausted this week because we've been recovering from Q4TC. Thank you to you guys who came out and supported. It means a lot to me. You guys who came out and did that. This week we are playing video games that I kind of like the look of. Basically, I don't really know what the plan is for this week. I'm gonna play it by ear a little bit, and I think this week's gonna be a bit of a feel-good week. Towards the end of the week, we're gonna bring a Pull Fit stream back in, probably on Thursday morning. We're gonna do a Pull Fit stream to start off with. I've got some neat new combinations. I'm super angry because I did bad at Pull today. I slipped and I almost fell and it, my face, and it was bad. So we're gonna practice and we're gonna get good instead. But yeah, this week we're gonna be doing a feel-good week. We're gonna be playing like a whole bunch of stuff. Yes, chat, I am actually playing games next week and not just sitting there and chatting for 3 hours. I'm sorry.
Who'd have thunk it?
I know, right? But yeah, it's gonna be a feel-good week. We're gonna lift ourselves up. We're gonna play lots of positive things. We're gonna do lots of positive stuff. And it's generally gonna be a nice time. I think it's gonna be a nice time. You can catch me 12 p.m. BST. We're in BST now. Round about until about 6-ish. I do a bunch of D&D and roleplay games over on other channels as well. We're going to be putting them up on my channel this week so that you guys know exactly where I'm going to be all the time. And Saturday should be podcast day because I don't think I'm going away until the week after. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. What are you doing this week? Because apparently I'm...
fucking no. I'll be here.
Dude, I've just given you like 6 minutes to think about this.
I'll yeah, but
we
it still
do this
doesn't
every week.
It's not going to change the fact that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, though, because I don't know until I press start streaming.
Every week we do this, and every week you let me down. Are you kidding?
Right, so I know what I'm doing approximately 6 seconds before I do it. That's about as far as we go. One thing I will be doing, though, is further updating the information on the Patreon, which eventually runs as a command. Wow, bot's going in slow motion today. So we've kicked off a Patreon for this little project of ours in order to kind of help improve our tech on both of our ends, because we both have little issues and problems here and there.
I'm trying really hard to keep
it's tech. What can you do? It's tech issues, right?
Right.
So the Muns will go towards helping that. Goes towards helping our video editor Lado, who puts all the stuff up on YouTube and SoundCloud and iTunes and the other one.
He does a great job. He absolutely does a great job every week.
Yeah, and slave labor at the moment, like just straight slave labor at the moment. And eventually, it would be very nice to be able to start paying people like Lovely Crumps. Sorry, you came on before we can afford to pay anyone, so you got fucked, Crumps.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
Yeah.
just saying. But that's something as well we'd like to do further down the line. So that's why we have that there now. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing this week, other than I need to finish putting up some of the old podcast stuff on the Patreon. I think I'm going to start using that as like a repository to like dump all of the links into, because it seems like a good spot to have just a list of links for each episode in there. So I'm probably going to start doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, other than that. I'm good.
Just saying. This week we should have a content meeting about 6 out of 10. Just saying. We ought to do that this week. Just.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're going to be down here the week after, so fucking face to face.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Good. All right, guys. It's been absolutely great having you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, Crumps.
Having you guys.
Sam, go away again for another week. I'll see you next Saturday. Guys, honestly, thank you so much for joining us. Everywhere you guys are catching us, whether you guys are catching us on Twitch Live, chat. Thank you so much for your interaction. You guys always make my day. But thank you so much, you guys. Much appreciated. We'll see you next week with new guests, new topics, not better segues, and certainly not better titles. Have a great one, guys. See you next Saturday.
Later. Bye.